All right, take a look at this, plebs.
The new year approaches and brings with it tidings of neo-Malthusian implication. Grinning liberal bobbleheads be warned. While some poor sods are reveling in festivity, I and other serious critics of the neo-feminist liberal agenda will be hard at work, unpacking the dialectic, attempting to make heads or tails of the new implications wrought by this new priesthood of public belief. 3 slobs known as Pessimist Productions will be facing me down in a gauntlet of Herculean proportion. I will not go easy on them. They are anti-man, anti-God, and furthermore, anti-masculine. They seek to confuse the youth by blurring the lines of gender and upsetting the apple cart of race and class. I will not allow them to do so. Join the Pessimist Productions Patreon now, or else you will be left shivering and naked in the total darkness of ignorance. Only patrons will get to see the pain, the beauty, and the glory of these cultural terrorists meeting their match. Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who. Starting on December 31st at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and continuing until all of the United States has rung in the new year. If you miss the Jordan Peterson Gauntlet, you'll likely never forgive yourself. Be brave in the face of the feminist. Reject the modern assumption that men are evil and wrong. Join the Pessimist Productions Patreon now, or else submit yourself to the decay of modernity.
Whoa.
Powerful message.
Powerful Jordan Peterson message there. Yeah, make sure you join the Patreon. It's going to be a blowout, man. At 6 hours of pure, unadulterated Jordan Peterson pain, suffering, all on New Year's Eve. So you got to sign up. Sign up now. Yeah, there's also a year-long subscription for those of you that are subscribers, and I think that as of right now, I don't know if it's going to hang around this way forever, but as of right now, if you pay a yearly subscription, you get 2 months free. So
that is true.
If you're one of those people that's planning on sticking out with us all throughout the year-long subscription, hey, use some of your stocking stuffer money. You get 2 months free if you sign up for a year. So go check it out. Link down below.
And I can say this. TJ said he's coming down to where I live, so he's going to be here in the studio with me, my little bullshit studio. And I can't speak for Paul. Paul's probably too wise for this. Me and TJ will be coping with this gauntlet by consuming vast sums of alcohol. So
yeah, I'm just gonna smoke weed. I'm just gonna I'll keep up with you guys on the weed angle, dude. I'm telling you, that last fucking drinking competition we had, it removed my desire to be drunk. Like, I've been drunk probably 4 or 5 times since then, and it like literally that's it. So like sprinkles in a little, like I'll get drunk here maybe, but like I never get that wasted, dude. That was it for me. That was the line.
Yeah, so you're saying you might get a little tipsy, but beyond that, you don't even fuck with it anymore.
I really don't. Yeah, I mean, I'll like I said, yeah, I'll have a couple of drinks or whatever. Me and Amelia had our 2-year anniversary recently, and we went out and I got a little drunk, but yeah, I don't do it anymore, man. I just don't.
That drinking contest was brutal for you, though. I mean, like, you were like right after you were hugging a bucket.
Oh yeah, it was fucked up.
I just remember you holding that bucket. You're like,
I literally rolled like exactly how I needed to roll to drink the most in the least amount of time, basically. And also won the game, but yeah, I mean, like, at what cost, Scotty? At what cost?
I still remember you drawing the like all those different cards. Like, oh my god, Paul. It's like, but you hit all the fucking bridges too. God,
yeah, I hit all the shortcuts, and I drew all of the stunts that like there's no way I was gonna do. Like there was a few stunts in there that maybe I would have chosen, but I pulled like the call your mom and explain to her that you're a furry. Call your dad and reconcile with him live on the show. I was like, no, give me the fucking pass the vodka or whatever the fuck we got over there.
I like this the super chat. Here's money. Yeah.
Hey, nice.
Cool.
Thanks.
I mean,
We like that.
no pithy comment, no nothing. Just like money. Do you
We're
want?
all fans of that.
Alrighty, I guess I'll do it. Did you have a good Christmas, Paul?
Yeah. It was
Christmas?
it was pretty good. You know, I had one big family thing, and we actually did it like kind of a couple of days before Christmas, like big family get together. And that was like fun but exhausting, as it always is.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Especially considering one of my sisters has 7 children or 8 children. I lose count. She's got a fuck ton of kids. They're all great. Like I don't got a problem with them, but that's just a lot of children.
Oh, that's a lot of noise, dude. 7 kids.
Noise. Oh yeah.
I mean, like even like not being bad, that's just a lot of noise for kids. And
Yeah.
if you're not used to it, dude, you can totally tell when someone's not used to being around kids because they're like, oh, how can people do this? It's like, well, you become desensitized to that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you,
That's what I've talked to my sister about it, and that's what she said. She's like, you know, like at first it's really hard, you know, but like eventually it just becomes your new normal.
Yeah,
like your mind adjusts to it, and
you drown it out, dude. Like you
Yeah.
literally drown that shit out. Like, and people are like, whoa, I can't fucking stand this shit. It's like, you'll get used to it. But I mean, of course, it's Christmas. You ain't getting used to that. You're like, oh fuck. Like you
Hey,
said,
look.
they're good kids.
$1 a piece for us, Scotty. 0 for TJ.
Thank you,
Tucker.
Fuck
Yeah.
TJ.
I love those, man.
TJ's going to see Avatar tonight. He's like, man, I'm going to Avatar in IMAX. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. Fucking
Yeah.
great.
Amelia's family went and saw it on Christmas Day, I think.
Oh,
And,
nice.
they said that, you know, I don't know how much I trust their movie takes, but they said it was better than the first Avatar. If that's true, then it's going to make $1 billion for sure.
I mean, it very well could. You know, that really the thing with the Avatar movie is that like, does it have staying power? Do you know, do you have
You
to
better hope it does, because isn't he planning to do like 6 of these?
It's something insane like that. I know he shot a bunch of the movies too, because like he was worried about like actors, you know, aging
Yeah.
over time. So I mean that it's very well possible, but I mean, didn't James Cameron also say that he would have to like clear like $1 billion for the film to be profitable, or 2 billion or something?
I mean, I think it's possible that it clears $1 billion easy, worldwide, especially. But we'll see. And then, you know, you gotta imagine another $1 billion with marketing and video game licensing and this, that, and the other thing. It's probably I could see it being profitable.
Let's see here. I'm just curious what its box office is so far. I think I looked last week and it already hit $500 million.
I mean, that's fucking retarded then. Yeah, it's
happy holidays from your buff chocolate anime nerd. Happy holidays to you as well.
Nice.
For Kaiser Scotty, we render unto Scotty, even if TJ won't. That's so true, you know, but he's the kind of guy that doesn't pay his fucking debts.
True.
It'll catch up to him someday. So let's see here. So right now, Avatar, looking at Avatar: The Way of Water, according to Box Office Mojo, Paul, 287 million in the US, 600 million worldwide. Right now, 889 million.
So it's gonna clear $1 billion. It's gonna clear $1 billion for sure. I mean, it's only been out a couple of fucking days and it's already got $889 million. I mean, that's ridiculous. So yeah, it's gonna clear $1 billion, maybe even $2 billion. That's crazy.
That's why I said I wasn't betting against James Cameron, dude. I'm like, I just looked at the holiday offerings, and it's like, you know, there's like Puss in Boots or whatever, and you know, but honestly, like, so I guess it is also in the family friendly space or whatever.
Yeah.
But Avatar, just I mean, like, just the sheer curiosity factor is going to get some people to see it, because it's like they made that movie like 10 years ago. It's been a long time. Already almost 900 million. So yeah, I think you're right. It's going to clear at least $1.5 billion probably before everything's said and done. Because it came out when? December 16th. So it's been out for 10 days.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna accelerate all through the season. So yeah, something Gen Z nostalgia. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, dude. If I have a chance to hire James Cameron to make a movie for me, I'm saying yes.
Well, that's the whole point of this Avatar thing, is that James Cameron attained a status that few directors in the history of directing have attained. It's like
well,
he's got a status that allows him to basically make whatever he wants, and Avatar is what he wants to make. This is his baby. You know what I mean? And that's been,
his
that's been the
franchise.
case. It's been the case. That was the case for the Terminator as well. Terminator was his, kind of his vision. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like he's definitely at that level. It's like Spielberg attained that level years and years and years ago and made Schindler's List. That was his like passion project or whatever.
I'll tell you what though. I mean, the way Spielberg's gone, I'm way more interested to see what James Cameron's going to do than Spielberg at this point.
Well, I've always liked James Cameron's movies on the whole more than Spielberg movies. I mean, that's just my personal taste on it. I love how meticulous James Cameron. I mean, he's the director of my favorite movie of all time, so of course I'm gonna love him. But yeah, I don't know.
To be relevant for this long though, I mean, to fucking go 10, I mean, like 10, 11, how many years between Avatar movies and then still have success, even when, let's be honest, the movie industry is in the toilet as far as like really what it has to offer. I mean, compared to like streaming services.
Yeah,
people get entertainment. So I mean, the entire entertainment market has changed. So I would say this is a hit, especially looking under that auspices and that fucking view, because like maybe in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, this wouldn't have been as impressive. It's still I think it still would have been somewhat impressive, but I think they were doing bigger box office then. But now, I mean, I can't remember many movies opening to this, in recent times.
No, this is definitely going to end up being the biggest movie of the last X years. It just depends how many years. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I think I'm going to probably catch it in IMAX before it moves on. I think
that's what TJ's doing. So hopefully he'll be able to let us know how it was.
Scotty, you can now fuck sex dolls in South Korea. Look at this.
It is good to realize I'm no longer violating South Korean law when I visit South Korea.
Yeah. If you, have wanted in your heart of hearts to go to South Korea and pork a sex doll, now that became a reality for you yesterday. Just so you know.
Awesome. Finally.
South Korea has formally lifted a ban on the import of full-body sex dolls, ending years of debate over how much the government can interfere in private life. Yeah, this is one of those things. It's just like, is this creepy? Yes. Yeah. In my opinion, I'm creeped out by the idea. Like, I probably couldn't fuck one of these things. Maybe.
I don't think most people want to fuck a sex doll, but I mean, for the people that do, I mean,
right. Who are they hurting? Nobody. Literally nobody is hurt by them fucking sex dolls. So it's one of those things. It's like, it's okay to be weird. Go ahead and do your weird thing, especially if your weird thing hurts literally nobody.
Yeah, your weird thing is you see this doll in court featured here. If this dude wants to bang this doll, who am I to stand in the way of him doing that? I can't think of an actual reason why he shouldn't do it. I mean, like maybe if it was like debilitating his like life or in some way, but if he lives an otherwise pretty average life, he just wants to fuck a sex doll. I don't know. I mean, like, let's just be honest here. Like, it's really none of our business what the guy does.
Yeah, true. I don't know if this guy's actually fucking this sex doll. I think a lot of this lift on the ban had to do with her testimony. I heard this sex doll gave very compelling testimony here as to why she should be allowed to be sold and fucked in South Korea. So, yeah, no, I don't know. South Koreans are weird. You can actually see there's 2 male sex dolls back here too. See these dudes standing there? Those are not dudes. Those are sex dolls. Those are man sex dolls. So they brought a bunch of them, I guess, into the parliament so they can like examine what they are. It
says imported sex doll, so I guess maybe you could have had a domestically made sex doll in South Korea.
I wonder if there was a South Korean made sex doll loophole.
Probably so, but I don't imagine there's many manufacturers.
I was gonna say there's probably not an industry there, so it's a de facto ban basically at that point. If you can't get one from a company in South Korea because nobody makes them, and you can't import one, it's basically banned. I saw Avatar high as fuck in IMAX. As a Californian, the connection to the ocean hippie stuff spoke to me, and the effects were beautiful. They aren't deep films because they're for your average American. Yeah, I don't really care how, like, deep is good. If a movie is deep, I'm fine with that. But I'm also fine when a movie isn't deep. Like, and I really don't think Avatar needs to be deep. It's about the spectacle. It's a spectacle action film, you know, and that's really what James Cameron, in my opinion, like, that's his specialty, is the spectacle action film. I mean, if you look at Aliens, you look at Terminator, and Terminator 2. I mean, spectacle action film. Those are like some of the top spectacle action films of all time.
James Cameron just reinvents the top of the commercial film industry over and over again. He's just one of those guys where it's like he just comes up with a thing that on the face of it sounds ridiculous, but some people are just able to pull that shit off. And he's someone that's able to do that. He's able to get the creative side and the money side together, which is such a rare thing in the entertainment business, because there's people that are usually just too much of one or the other. It's like, oh, let's make this too commercial, it's too dog shit, or it's too artsy, it's too out there for too many people. So it's like he's really good at melding both those interests and making that work. So I definitely agree with your point, Paul.
Yep. Paul's ego. Oh, well, thanks.
Yes.
Thanks, Tech Noir. And I'm not going to read this because it might mean something horrible in like, Brazilian or some shit. And you're just trying to get me to say it. Like this might be like a horrible slur or some shit you're trying to get me to say. But thanks for $20. Appreciate that.
I'm looking it up, Paul.
Yeah, you got to look that, because dude, I don't trust that shit. I don't want to be like, might be some Nazi shit. Who knows, man? These days, who knows?
You never know. Let's see. Translate. We want to translate this. Can we translate?
Scotty's on the fucking case. We're gonna find out if you were trying to bait me into saying something horrible, man.
Let's see. No, I want a translator. Come on. Translation.
I will find out.
We'll find out. Okay, Google Translate. Put it in.
It's Portuguese, apparently. Somebody says. I don't know if they're correct about that, but
let's see. What did he say? What was the last part?
Is it really just like poop balls?
I think so. Well, let's see. I
think it's poop balls.
I think you're right. Let's see.
Cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Google Translate agrees.
Poop balls, poop balls, poop balls.
Balls made of poop.
Would you pick James Cameron over Uwe Boll for Swamp Ape 2, Swamp Ape Rapes Manhattan? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he'd probably do a better job than Uwe. No disrespect to Mr. Boll, but I would love to see a Jim Cameron like B movie. Be great for sure.
I don't know, dude. I can't imagine James Cameron even if you said make a B movie. I just don't know if he would actually turn out. I don't know if he actually is even capable at this point of making a B movie.
I think there's a video for this one, so we'll just watch that. Oh shit! You know what though? I bet I'm not even gonna hit play because I bet I didn't share the fucking.
You didn't click the little button, did you?
I'd be willing to bet.
That's how it always goes. Yeah, when you share your screen on the program you stream here, there's a tiny little button for audio.
Itty bitty. All right. Yeah, this I don't know exactly what's going. Oh shit. God damn it. Fucking
goddammer.
Son of a bitch, and goddamn technology never works right. All right.
And it never does. It never does.
It really doesn't. Yeah. Especially when you need it most, it's never there. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what's going on here. I think there's like a bunch of alligators involved. I can't hear that. Oh, well, it's because it's muted. Of course. Why wouldn't it be? There we go.
As no one was hurt, and animal control was able to safely remove those alligators from the house. Detroit animal care and control officers fight to get control of an alligator.
Oh shit!
Damn, they're trying to like tape its beak up and shit. Did you see that? They were like, they didn't have to. You guys have nothing to deal with alligators at that point if you're just taping up their beak. I mean, come on, man.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, in Detroit, though. I mean, think about that. If it was like, if this was Florida or something, they'd have some experience. But I don't know how many alligators they have in fucking Detroit.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I
During
would imagine
interviews,
many.
court officers called animal control for backup when they found it along with 3 baby alligators inside this tank. Neighbors were taken aback.
Oh, whoa, man. Somebody had alligators next door? Shit.
You ever seen anything like this before?
No, not at all. None. Nope.
Hey, you live around here, right? Have you seen this before? No.
This guy. I fucking love this dude in the Adidas shirt.
This
He's
dude in
my
the Adidas
favorite.
shirt is like high as a kite, and he's wondering
He
if
is
this,
he's higher than shit.
and he's just like wondering if this is real right now. I guarantee you, he's like, is this fucking actually happening? Is like this the news? Like, what is going on?
Man, did I just hit that blunt too hard? Did I pass out? Am I dreaming this? You ever seen anything like this, sir? Nah, nah.
Uh-uh.
Paul Parkey is a dang foo. Well, thanks. Thanks.
Mr.
I am.
Pity the fool.
I'm a foo, and I'm literally a foo. Because that was the name of my gang in high school, man. Foo 27 forever.
Keeping alligators as pets is apparently illegal in Detroit. It's unclear if the tenant was aware of that.
A lot of times, sometimes, people can obtain alligator without knowing the proper laws.
Who would want to obtain an alligator, though? Like, really? I don't know. Like, especially in like a residential area. Like, I get it if you got a big farm or something.
I get it if there's like some sort of attraction that's like people are going to come look at your alligators or something. Because that's pretty common in Louisiana for people to keep alligators in like.
Yeah, they got like private zoo licenses or whatever. Yeah.
Like there's a Bass Pro Shop around here that in the warmer months they have little baby alligators out there and shit. So like yeah, that's common.
Well, there's that whole like you remember Tiger King or whatever the fuck is about
God.
those places. So yeah, they've been. He had like, I was rewatching the first couple of episodes of that like while I was just chilling out getting ready for bed, dude, I forgot how many fucking tigers he had. There are some scenes where it's just like a herd of tigers being let into these big cages to eat. It's like he had hundreds, like over 200 tigers.
Oh yeah,
on the property. It's like, what the fuck, bro?
yeah, and the fact that like federal and state laws allowed him to even do that is just beyond ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean, I know like people feel some sympathy for the guy because like his case being not the most rock solid case against him with that. But I mean, he's still. I mean, Joe Exotic did some pretty reprehensible shit. Like all the tigers, you're like, oh, this tiger's old. All the tigers they capped, and it's just the fact it's like people don't need to own endangered species like that. It's just a good idea.
Yeah, the fact that there's not a national law against private ownership of endangered animals like that, especially like I think they need to be specific. They need to be like big cats, bears, like any kind of like big predator. You shouldn't be able to just like own at your house.
And all for like, dude, like literally for like Instagram and Snapchat, cloud and shit like that, and for people to have opportunities to take pictures with the animals. Like, man, there's no legitimate need for that. It's just
they cover it. I don't remember the name of the town, but there was like they covered it in that Tiger King documentary where some dude had a private collection of like 30 or 40 big cats, and they just escaped.
Oh, the dude in Ohio you talking about?
Yeah.
Like I think he was gonna lose the animals or something, and then like
so he just released them.
Yeah, he capped himself and then let the animals run free. I think is what ended up happening. And of course, most animals had to be put down. Well, I think some of them were able to be like saved. But
there was a horrible picture of like just a ditch filled with tigers from that because most of them ended up having to be killed. So that's crazy. Mike Tyson had big cats at home. Yeah, I know. I don't think he should be able to. Like,
yeah, I don't think anybody like. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just don't think anybody needs big cats, and I don't think there's any way to responsibly like house them. unless you're like a rehabilitation joint that's dealing with the fallout from all these places that would have to close or whatever, like you're going to need that. I don't think they should euthanize all these tigers, and a lot of them wouldn't be releasable into the wilds. They were bottle fed and hand raised. You know what I mean? They just don't. They don't know what to do out in the wild. They never learned. So you'd have to find a place to humanely just like let them live out their lives and shit. But like after that, done. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
They,
No, I completely agree.
these breeders like to say too, like, oh, tigers are endangered, and we're like, look at what I got. I got 200 tigers. You know what I mean? It's just like that doesn't help them not being endangered. You having a private collection and killing them as soon as they get out of hand or whatever the fuck, or get too much to feed them, or too much medical aid is needed to keep them alive. You just cap them and bury them, breed them. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not what people think of when they think of conservation.
No, I mean, and if your conservation it pretty much solely ends up with you having some profit motive, it's not really conservation. You know, I agree with you. It's mainly like animal sanctuaries. I mean, some zoos. And honestly, the whole thing with zoos is that's a whole other topic. 'Cause some zoos are actually really, I'd say, run really well. And of course, a lot of these little, like show exotic type zoos you're talking about are the ones we're talking about. They're horrible. They're horribly run. They don't have anywhere near enough space or enrichment for the animals they even have.
Yeah.
So it's a fucking thorny issue for sure. But I mean, I think most people, if you look at it objectively, like just private ownership itself just makes no sense. It doesn't really make any sense just for so many reasons. Like, how can you possibly, like, number one, the cost of feeding these animals is exorbitant. Like a tiger eats what, 100 pounds of fucking meat, 50 pounds of meat a day.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were bringing in like trucks of carcasses and.
Well, remember in that documentary, remember like they had to get like surplus fucking expired meat from Walmart. They had all these different ways to basically get around feeding these animals. So just like that, veterinary care, like how many vets actually treat these animals, how many people are going to be specialized in taking care of them. Like there's no fucking way. Oh, let's see. Someone said, interesting. Big ownership was just banned federally, so you got your wish. Well, you know what?
What are they going to do with all these places that have hundreds of tigers? What you're saying is Tiger King's about to get a lot more interesting. Like they're going to do a Tiger King too, because they're going to have to, like, are they going to go and seize Tony? You remember Tony the Tiger? Literally lived his whole fucking life in that roadside zoo in Louisiana that we stopped at.
Oh yeah, the tiger stop, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, are they gonna come and confiscate all these tigers from people, or are they just gonna put a federal ban on owning them? That's like they're grandfathered in, but because like they're breeding them, like they're breeding and illegally trading these animals already. So what's gonna it's just gonna be interesting to see how they plan to enforce it. Because most of the people that obviously, in order to have a bunch of tigers, you got to have a big piece of land. In order to have a big piece of land, you got to be pretty rich. And so a lot of these deep South motherfuckers are pretty crazy too. So it'll be interesting to see if there's some federal showdowns coming up.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm assuming there's some mechanism in the law that allows people to keep them. Because I can't imagine. I can't really imagine, like you said, like, what are they going to euthanize all these animals? Like, they can't release them. There's got to be like an intermediate solution. There's no other way to do it humanely.
Yeah, aquariums too, like these places that have dolphins all pinned up, and yeah, I agree with you on this. Like the whole thing needs to be regulated. I think honestly, and this is just I'm a fucking big government leftist or whatever. So, but I think that like just pet ownership needs to be more regulated than it is, because I think a lot of people are abusing dogs and cats, keeping them like all pinned up 24/7, 365 or whatever the fuck. Just not like if you're mistreating there's tons of people that are mistreating animals at home, and there needs to be some kind of fucking mechanism.
You're not even kidding.
So.
No, dude, there's so many people that literally just leave their dogs out. Like around here, there's an issue where I live with people just letting their dogs just roam around. Like, let their dogs out just to run around the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how's this a good idea? Like, especially because people have like pit bulls and shit. They'll have pit bulls, they'll have these full-size dogs. And it's like, these dogs can attack other people and shit.
Yeah, you just got like eventually you could just got a roaming pack of predators on the streets of a fucking neighborhood or whatever because people can't take care of their shit. And in a lot of places, especially down south, there's really not a fucking thing you can do about it. There's no municipal arm that'll come and do anything for you about it, and they're not breaking any laws. So there just needs to be like broad regulation of this type of shit. Yeah, you see this person was like raising what was the plan? They were raising an alligator in a bathtub. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, you're right. Like, what's the end game here? Like, I just like it as a pet. It's like, all right. I mean, but
and it's like in that show they talk about how like people are everybody wants to buy a baby tiger. It's like, what you realize that this baby tiger that you're buying is not going to be a baby tiger for more than a month or two, and then pretty soon you've got a giant fucking wild predator. What's the plan? You know what I mean? Like, what's the end? I just don't understand the thought process to some of this shit. It should just be illegal.
Well, they can't even release that in the environment there. Like, I can't live in Michigan. That's not gonna fucking be able to live there. Like,
No.
at least if you had it down here, I guess you could make an argument like, well, alligators live here. It's like, yes, you could release it, but that's about it. And even then, it's like, I think like dogs and cats, there's a different relationship with humans overall. Like dogs are way more responsive than almost any other species to human needs and can actually fit pretty well into human society. Like an alligator's not going to do that.
Well, I mean, that's because they're like hundreds of thousands of years of dogs being domesticated by human beings. You know what I mean? Like they've evolved. Like most dog breeds have evolved to live side by side. Like an alligator doesn't know it's not in the fucking swamp.
It doesn't give a fuck. It doesn't care about you.
No. You're just another a thing to it, just like it's a thing to you. It's just fucked up. Like nobody can. I would hazard a guess that probably like 99.99% of people are not equipped to house an alligator in a proper manner, and so it should just be illegal to have it. Period. Like maybe make some like arcane licensing fucking thing that you've got to go through, submit yourself to tons of scrutiny from animal control and all this shit. And you can have all these fucking things, but it's going to require that you have the right kind of shit to have it. And you see, I'm sitting here going like, I don't understand, like, what's the end game? But my parents did this exact fucking thing for me when I was a kid. I want an iguana. I want an iguana. I want an iguana. They got me a fucking iguana at a pet store. And when I got him, dude, I could hold him like I would hold him in my hand like this, and he would wrap his little arms around my thumb. That's how big he was. And by the time Iggy was, his name was Iggy, most creative name for an iguana ever, by the way.
Very creative.
And by the time he was like a fucking 20-pound animal. He was huge. He was 8 feet long from nose to tail.
Damn.
He was a beast. And it's just like he was lucky because my parents were they learned like, hey, he's not going to live if you keep him in a small enclosure. You got to get him a big. They built him a big terrarium. He lived the high life. But most people just keep these big animals in a tiny little enclosure or some shit, and they die and they're horrible. They suffer because they're not getting what they need. Iguanas need a certain amount of mixed fruits, vegetables, and proteins in their diet, or they get all fucked up. They have to have 2 different types of light to compensate for sunlight. They've got to have a UV light, and they've got to have like a sun lamp, a rated sun lamp. Those things are expensive as fuck to keep running. They have to have a huge enclosure. They need to have like 20 feet or something to roam around in, like a big male iguana. And most people aren't going to do that. You know,
yeah, what you just described is just, you think about the investment. I mean, it's either a significant portion of your home.
Yep.
Paying, at least probably $100-$200 a year for the power bill on all the lights and shit. And
hundreds of dollars in food just for one iguana, because they eat, if you want your iguana to be healthy, they eat shit like mango. You have to get them tropical, like kiwi, mango, 8 different types of lettuce, different types of tomato. They need all this like mixed shit along with live shit, like a mouse every once in a while, a fucking handful of mealworms. That shit is expensive, dude. Just keeping one of these animals.
Oh, dude, we actually looked into just having a hermit crab and like the requirements because kids will have those, and the reason that they're like, oh, these animals don't live very long. It's like they actually live a long time. A lot of these species do, but you're right. The way people keep animals, like if you don't take care of the animal properly, it's not going to live a very long life. The Aggie obviously is probably an exception because, like you said, if you want to do all that stuff, and it's going to live way longer.
They didn't know when they bought him, but like, my parents figured out what he needed, like talked to a vet because he was dying. Like we were keeping him in too small of an enclosure. He wasn't getting the right kind of light. And the vet told him what they needed to do. And they actually did it. Most people don't.
Yeah. They just go, okay, well, we'll feed him a mango.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
This is a long time coming, in my opinion, dude. You see a trailer that the movie is nothing like the trailer, you can sue.
You should be able to, man. That's fucking bullshit. I mean, who hasn't seen a fucking trailer and they're like, yeah, that movie actually looks pretty interesting. I'm gonna go see that movie. Then you watch it and you're like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck did I see a trailer for? And what the fuck am I actually watching?
Yep. Dude, this has happened to me so many times. This is such a tactic for the movie industry now to just like make this trailer that's completely not representative of the movie to bait you in to watch a movie that's about something else or has a whole different feel than the trailer. You can sue now.
Or they'll put someone like in like 2 minutes of a movie or whatever, and it's like they're featured prominently in the advertising. It's like,
oh yeah, that you know what? A perfect example of that is that fucking, oh my god, what is it called? There's some fucking Nick Cage movie that has the most ridiculous fucking title ever. It's like Reborn or so. I can't remember what it was, but he's like on the, in all the promotional material, and all the trailers are centered around him, and he's in literally like a minute and a half of the movie. And the rest of the movie is just some kind of like murder mystery between two girls.
But Nicolas Cage is walking around for like a minute in it. It's like,
yeah, he was one of their husbands at the beginning, remember?
It's like, no,
so damn. That's fucked up. So yeah, I guess you can sue. Let's see what this act like.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston got. Yeah, that's true.
Bryan Cranston and oh yeah, for sure.
He was in the beginning.
Movie fans disappointed that their favorite actor was cut from a film after appearing in the trailer can sue the studio for. Okay, so that's very specific. So if you have a trailer that comes out and then like one of the characters ends up getting cut from the film, you can't, you know what I mean? Like you're protected, I guess now.
Well, that is false advertising because the studio knows the cut they're putting out. And if they advertise someone as being in a movie and they cut their part out, I mean, they can control that. They can put out a trailer that's different that doesn't have that person featured in it.
Yeah. Two film buffs say Universal Pictures tricked them into renting 2019 flick yesterday because the trailer featured actress Ana de Armas.
That movie sucks, by the way.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. I'll take your word for it. It sounds like it sucks. Peter Michael Raza of San Diego and Connor Wolf, 39, of Maryland, say they forked over $3.99 each to watch the Richard Curtis comedy on Amazon Prime, only to discover that Ana de Armas had not made the final cut.
Damn.
A class action suit filed earlier this year alleges fans had been led to expect the Cuban No Time to Die star would feature prominently in the movie. However, they did not receive a movie with any appearance of Ana de Armas at all. Accordingly, such consumers were not provided with any value for their rental or purchase. Hey, dude, you can't argue with this shit. This is true. A lot of people watch movies strictly. I'm not one of these people, but a lot of people watch movies strictly because X actor or actress is in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And these movie studios, more and more, these movies are becoming just like Frankenstein nightmares because, it's like a headless system. They don't really care if the movie sucks. It's about cashing in.
Well, imagine the movie, like a movie featured The Rock. It's like The Rock is in this. The Rock is in this. And you watch the whole movie and The Rock never shows up.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh, dude, I'm telling you, man, fucking Nick Cage is the king of this. He's in tons of movies where he's prominent part of the trailer, prominently featured in the fucking poster and all this shit. you think it's going to be a Nick Cage movie, and he's literally a side character. Like they paid him like $100,000 to be in 15 seconds of the movie or something.
Oh yeah, dude. Another thing with these cheap ass movies that people like Nick Cage and other once more prominent actors were in is like they'll put them in the beginning, they'll have like one scene in the middle, and then they'll be in the end.
Yep.
So it's like really their time involvement was like, oh, see, they were in the movie. It's like, I mean, I guess like their total screen time.
Kinda.
Yeah, total screen time was maybe like 3 to 5 minutes. So yeah, I guess they were in it, but barely. No, I think these studios should be held accountable. Like I don't see why they shouldn't fucking be able to get away with it. These people are right. They fucking rented a movie assuming that someone who was featured in the trailer for the movie, selling you the movie, would be in it, and then she wasn't. So,
dude, they just wanted to see some Ana de Armas, and they were denied. And yeah, hopefully this kicks open the door to being able to sue movie companies for putting out low effort schlock and pretending that it's big budget. That would be the change that's really needed. Got to get all the Christmas spirit out of our system now. Let's cover a little bit of the crazy shit that happened this Christmas, I guess. A bunch of drunk pub crawling Santas were driving around in this crazy fucking armored tank. And they got stuck in a Cornish hedge. They did.
What is a Cornish hedge?
You got me. It's something that only exists in Great Britain, I'm guessing. Yeah, Great Britain for sure. A vintage armored vehicle filled with Santas had to be freed by police after getting stuck in a Cornish lane. I don't know. Is this a video of it? Let's see. Yeah. God damn it. Why won't it ever let us full screen from this?
Because that'd be too kind.
Yeah.
A Cornish hedge.
Stuck they are, Scotty, in a Cornish hedge.
A Cornish hedge is a style of hedge built of stones, each found in Cornwall, southwest England. Sometimes hedging plants are trees planted on the hedge to increase its wind-breaking height.
Right, beautiful that Cornish hedge was till them drunken Santas came along in their tank and ruined it. It's a fantastic Cornish hedge. I know exactly the one that they're talking about. The one at Devon and Cornwall, yes. Right there on Marsh Lane near Hale. Yes. Beautiful Cornish hedge that was. Let's see, is there another one?
What's that?
What's going on here? And another one.
It's drunk. It's drunk. It's the fucking drunky Santa. Why can't you guys speak properly? Like
I've gotten stuck in a Cornish hedge.
Stuck in a
Cornish hedge. Is that a tank filled with drunken Santa? I heard the drunk Santa in Cornish hedge, eh?
Father Christmas is stuck in your hedge, Father. Why can't I talk proper like an American? Oh, because my jaw's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, there's no excuse anymore. No excuse.
There's only one English language now. It's American.
Yep. We own it now. We stole it from you.
Yeah, there's more Americans than fucking people across the pond. Look, you guys had your chance. Look, you guys can't even fucking drive a tank. Not into your goddamn Cornish hedges, whatever the fuck you're talking about. Dude, I just don't know, man. Like, how could they not get this shit? Like, what the fuck is a Cornish hedge, and why would anyone want it? Like, I looked at a picture of it, I still saw it. I'm like, why the fuck does this even exist? Like, I get why they probably crashed it, because it looks like they're very narrow, generally.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we need to just fucking invade and really like put a bunch of tanks and squish all their Cornish hedges to show them what's proper.
That's all I want to do. Dude, we'll go destroy these British Fox Gardens and shit.
These Santas were probably Americans, and they were sick to death of this fucking Cornish hedge.
Tired of these fucking Cornish hedges. Ah!
But I do kind of feel like that's a pretty shittily designed tank if it could get stuck in a little Cornish hedge, you know? Like, aren't tanks supposed to be able to, like, roll through houses and shit? Like, they got tracks. So, like, how did it get stuck in the Cornish hedge? Like, what the fuck?
Well, it was driven by a bunch of drunk Santas, though.
That is true.
That's probably why. Normally, I think they could probably make it over or something, but this is a case of I think they had a little bit too much. I think they might have chickened out.
Ian Jepson, who shot this video footage of the Santa Jam, said the lane was blocked for about 2 hours. He said the Santas were on their annual pub crawl. They shot past me singing, and we later found them stuck somewhere the lane narrows. They were quite tightly jammed, but it says no parking. It's quite funny as they tried to free themselves. Footage, it shows the Santas drunkenly trying to move their tank off the Cornish hedge.
That motherfucking tank! Move the fucking tank from the hedge! So you guys get for having Cornish fucking hedges. You had fucking roads like Americans do. You just drive around that shit. You're like, fuck you, Santa. I got better shit to do.
Well, that was eventful,
one woman commented.
An army tank, yes, an actual army tank, driven by several inebriated Santas, trying to get to the pub in Angerac, who got stuck along the way.
Another person joked, I've seen it all now. A tank being driven by several Santas tried to drive into Angerac, got wedged, and blocked the entrance to the village. Oh boy, man, this is big. This is what passes for news over there. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, man. Boo.
I will say this. At least all the drunken Santas didn't go to jail. Because in America, they definitely probably would.
Oh, yeah. They probably just had police probably just helped them along their way,
I'll give them that. No one, it seems like no one got hurt. It was just like many British things, a minor inconvenience for people to complain about. Because British people love to complain. That's one thing I think they share with Americans. They love to complain.
Oh, yeah. This will be a story for like 10 years in this little town.
No doubt.
The drunken tank Santas. Everybody will reminisce about it. This is, just some more, I guess, news. Whatever. I'll just play it.
Wow, hot.
Good evening, council peoples. You may call me Mistress. I am here standing neutral to the motion approving an agreement for the proprietary purchase of yard waste processing and disposal. I do, however, find it interesting that you will spend almost $1 million to hide your secrets down the drain. So I propose that you use $250,000 of that mill to support DOMs and subs in Broward County, to build a dungeon created for us by us, the taxpayers and voting citizens. In closing, do not let this glamorous look distract you from doing your duty to take my demand. I look forward to spanking each and every single one of you at the new esteemed dungeon.
Man,
obviously, just calling out. It's just a stunt to call out political corruption. That's what I mean. There's no way they're gonna obviously appropriate money to this.
Truth really is stranger than fiction, Scotty. You know what I mean? Like if this was in a movie or a book, he would go like, no fucking way. 3 big leathered up DOMs walk into the city council meeting to ask, for the city to pay for a dungeon for them.
All right, everyone, get your best knockoff Daft Punk outfits on and head down to the fucking city council meeting.
We need more of this. Oh, I totally fucking agree. Yeah. I mean, every one of these corrupt little fucking city councils and like these DOMs should just travel the country disrupting city council meetings, in my opinion.
I look forward to spanking each and every one of you. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, no, that's bad. I won't vote for this. We won't vote for this at all.
Oh, man. This is pretty fucked up. Another reason why I'll probably, unless I can fly in the cabin with him, Dinor's never going on a plane. Airline mix-up sends couples' dogs to Saudi Arabia instead of Nashville.
This is a nightmare, dude. This is dude, I think anyone that has any affinity for like their pets and animals in their lives, like this is just terrifying. Like you have to fly somewhere. I'm assuming like this is for Christmas. Is this a recent story?
Yeah, December 20th. So
I mean, just
prior to Christmas, but still.
Yeah, you're traveling to see your family across the country, and then you find out like your dog is in Saudi Arabia. It's like, how's this even fucking happen? Like, how's it even possible?
Yep. That is like an epic. That is like a failure of massive proportions. James Miller booked a flight for December 1st from London Heathrow Airport to Nashville. His wife, Madison Miller, had flown to Nashville the previous day so she could prepare their new home for Bluebell, the Miller's rescue Labrador mix, who's about 5 years old. James was traveling with, so he went to go get the pet. So he went, they got this rescue dog, and then he flew back with it. He was on British Airways, requires pets to fly at a temperature-controlled cargo hold, which is good, so they don't freeze to death. But instead of being loaded into the Nashville-bound flight, Bluebell's crate was put on an airplane headed to Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia.
Not even remotely close, but okay.
Because there are no direct flights between Riyadh and Nashville, Bluebell had to fly back to London, then take a third international flight to Tennessee, including, I mean, they're just like, at this point, I don't care. They're lucky they got their dog. Like, that means that they, like, the airlines actually solved this issue, which is, you know, at that point, yeah, that's the best outcome for this.
I mean, it says the dog was traveling for 60 hours. That's insane.
Yeah, that is horrible for the dog. By the time she got to Nashville, she was petrified and crying constantly. Yeah, she was just stressed out, as you can imagine.
Yeah. I mean, imagine 5 days or like, let's see, almost 3 days solid of travel.
Yeah. We opened her crate and she bolted towards the parking lot. She wanted to get as far away as possible from the crate. British Airways referred to HuffPost to IAG Cargo, the company that handles BA's pet transportation. We're very sorry for the recent error that occurred during Bluebell's trip to Nashville. They added the company is investigating how the redirection happened. The redirection, not the insane, unbelievable fuck up. It was a redirection, not even a misdirection, a redirection, Scotty. These corporate pieces of shit, dude.
We were very sorry they had this negative experience. Ultimately, the redirection of the animal was unintentional. While we investigate, we hope to provide comfort and support to those in need. It's like, dude, it's always some shit where it's like, you know how corporate speak is. We're sorry it happened to you, but it's not our fault.
Right.
If it is our fault, it's still not our fault because then we're liable.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, you know, being truly sorry means that you're willing to make restitution if it's needed, and these companies never do. They're always sorry though.
Real sorry.
But whatever. I guess Bluebell at least is fine now. Hopefully she'll be okay. Got some Christmas Am I the Assholes? You know, Christmas is a time, we were talking before we went live about just, you know, our kind of big family get-togethers and shit. Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, there can be some politics involved. Sometimes people get butt hurt.
Oh, dude, it's you know, when you start blending families together, especially when it's new and people haven't met each other and everything else, or you have people that are rarely ever going to see each other. I mean, some shit can go down, especially like, you know, with the modern convenience technology. It's like, oh, well, this person doesn't want to eat this thing, or this person doesn't want to do this thing, and then you start having these shit get blown out of proportion on, like, you know, two different sides, and people like Game of Thrones and like, oh, well, you don't support this one person does, you know, like, oh no, because this is my kid, I support this or that. It's like, dude, it just gets so quickly like this massive confusing shit, dude. So it's like, to me, if you can avoid that during Christmas, you've already you've won that part of Christmas. But you know, at some point you have to go to the internet and you're like, you know what? Was I the asshole? Did I fuck up this? And I mean, this one looks like a pretty important one. This seems like she's like, this guy fucked up his family's tradition or his wife's family's tradition.
We'll see. So he's 25-year-old male. His wife's 23. They have a tradition every Christmas where they bake Christmas cookies and frost them with our friends. Yeah, with our friends. Then we give the cookies out to friends and family and helpers. Got it. Every year, my wife would take on the bulk of the baking duties, insisting that only she knew how to bake them right, and only letting whoever is helping frost them. She always insisted on doing all the baking because frosting is the fun part, and the only thing people want to do. Usually this frosting and baking marathon would last until the wee hours of the morning. We'd start around noon. Well, this year, for reasons that aren't relevant to this post today, she would not be available on the day we normally do all this. She was sad that she wouldn't be able to do our cookie tradition. I said that I was more than capable of baking these cookies. She seemed to think I was joking and that I could basically never do it myself. Well, I said I'd try, and she wished me a sarcastic good luck. Well, in the run-up to the days of baking and frosting, I start running drills to optimize production.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
See, dude, this what this tells me is that there's a lot of butthurt behind this cookie shit already before this happened.
Oh, 100%, dude. Like, he's like, I'm gonna optimize my shit. I'm gonna have my shit down. It's like, you know what? My wife in the past, I love her, but she's been super inefficient.
He started running optimization drills.
Got fucking charts and shit. He's got graphs going. I can do 37 cookies per hour. I can double production. You know, if I bring in additional units, I can get cookie production up to 300 cookies an hour. Damn, 300 cookies? That's good.
I started rearranging the house in various configurations, running tests on the dough we were using to see how long it took to bake and making appropriate changes while running it by taste testers.
Very good.
Substituting ingredients for quicker bake time while preserving taste, making the cookies as thin as possible without compromising the frosting ratio. Canvas space for creativity and or compromising structural integrity. Dude, he was fucking he went fucking MacGyver on this shit. He immediately created a cookie factory out of his house.
Beautiful. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. So come the day of baking, I have everything down to science. As friends and family come in, I give them a rundown. After a couple hours, most of the kinks are worked out and cookies are flowing out at a breakneck pace. Eventually, we start running out of materials, something that never happened under my wife's aegis. Oh my God. Dude, he described it as like her reign over the cookie tradition as an aegis. You know that, like, there is, like I said, there's a lot of butthurt behind this cookie shit already. Like, in the years prior to this, he's hated her for this.
Dude, this is like, I'll tell you what this is, Paul. This dude has a controlling wife that's like, I do everything right. And he's just sat back year after year and just been like, all right. And finally, it's like, you know, fate has aligned and the stars have aligned for him where it's like, sweet, I get to be the one to bake these cookies. I'm just going to show her up and do it so much better and so much more efficient that everyone's going to leave like, you know what? He should do it again next year. And then by popular demand, he will have to do it. This is a scheme. This is a scheme to take over the cookie baking duties. This is some fucking Machiavellian shit here. Dude, I bet you this dude went and manipulated it so his wife would have an appointment that day. Oh, honey, you can't be in town? That's real sad. Well, guess you'll have to be going on down that road.
Yeah, he did it. Said by the time we were exhausted around 2 a.m., we had produced 5 times the amount of cookies that we ever had before.
I mean, that's a win. I mean, no matter what you say, if what the wife's motivations were, what the husband's motivations were, I mean, they produced 5. I mean, results don't lie. He fucking produced 5 times as many cookies. Come on.
My wife gets home a couple days later, and she's weirdly upset. She insists the cookies taste weird, that we spent too much money, and that I was actively trying to make her look bad by making so much more than her.
I think, I mean, look, that first one is subjective. I mean, you can say anything tastes weird, it tastes weird or funky, or it shouldn't be that way. Spent too much money. That depends on the people and their finances. But actively trying to make her look bad by making so much more, I undoubtedly agree with that one. I mean, come on. You fucking... Like, anyone that gets showed up is going to be a butthurt about it. Let's just be honest with that. Like, if someone takes over something you're doing and does 5 times more than you do and everyone's still happy with it and it's a hit, I mean, there's no contest. You're not as good at it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to argue. But still, the question is, because I get it, all right? He's clearly, like, there's no way he just decided to do this out of the blue.
No.
He has been watching her run this cookie thing and going like, man, dude, if she just took my advice, we could do 5 times more cookies. But she doesn't want to hear it. He's been like giving it to her, but silently he's been building up all this salt. And then we got to assume he didn't like engineer her not being able to be there. Like, it happens. He gets his moment in the sun and he goes like fucking like, dude, this is over the top. He rearranged the house to do this. He fucking did dough tests and taste tests and double blind fucking studies leading up to this.
Yeah,
Like,
he went all out, dude. I mean, yeah, you're right. This isn't just something that was like, I'm really sorry, I'm going to be out of town. Can you handle this?
yeah, it would be one thing if he did it and it went okay, and they made their quota and she came home and she was still mad about it. But I could kind of see, like, he turned their house into a fucking cookie factory in order to spite his wife. That's what this sounds like. Like, he's trying to claim, like, no, I just did what I, no, but he did this. She's exactly right. He did this to show her up, for sure. This was a covert. Yeah, he called it my wife's aegis. I mean, come on, dude. He's claim she's like a cookie tyrant in his mind, and he brought her low with the power of the people. And yeah, dude, he is
my
the
wife's
asshole.
Aegis has gone too far.
It's like Christmas cookies, bro. No, there's no aegis. You know what I mean? If you're talking about Christmas cookies for the family, come on.
It's like, yeah, like having someone have dominion over that and carrying that much, like maybe a productive conversation when, like, I actually want to help with the baking, and like having a serious conversation, and like if you really care that much, you should probably open up about like the fact that you actually do want to participate. And if your wife is like just unreasonable and is like, I just can't imagine that, like an actual good marriage where two people sat down and one person said, I really want to help bake cookies. The other one's just going to be like, fuck no. That's my territory, bitch. You ain't going to bake shit. You're on frosting duty again. Like, what? Like, come on. There's in no way in my mind, like, this dude is definitely the asshole. Like,
I think they're both assholes.
They're probably both assholes, but I'm like, I can't judge her as much because she didn't make the post. But is he the asshole? Undoubtedly, he is undoubtedly. I mean, now everyone sucks here, which is that I think we could rate that. Everyone does sound like kind of sucky here, so maybe we could say that everyone sucks here.
Like, he's got all the stats on it too. 40% more than last year. Fucking 5 times. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely. This was a coup to him. This was him taking over the cookie duties. Absolutely. So yeah, he's an asshole. And I think his wife probably, like, probably her fault that she's at least touched this off. She was a little bit fucking like Mussolini with the cookies. You know what I mean? She ran her kitchen like fucking a fascist. And her husband over the years silently built up this hatred for her. And it came out in the most asshole way possible by showing her up.
Who bakes more cookies this year, bitch?
So yeah, they're both fucking assholes.
I mean, the guy is fucking going to Sam's Club and shit. He's buying fucking flour and shit in bulk.
Yeah, he bought shit in bulk. Like, he fucking did the whole price thing. He maximized cookie production. Get out of here, dude. Your wife's aegis. How about this one? I bought my cousin's daughter a $4,000 gift for Christmas and ended up spending more on her than her mother did. Am I the asshole for not checking with her mother first?
I guess it kind of depends. If this dude's loaded or something and $4,000 just ain't shit to him, and he really wants to get. I mean, it's a gift to somebody else. So I don't know. Generally, when you're in the territory of you're giving someone a gift, it's kind of hard to be the asshole unless the gift is somehow intended to, like, I don't know, fuck them up in some way or hurt them.
Yeah. Thank you, Joey Jojo. Merry Christmas for Scooter and the Hog, a lump of coal, and a pair of shitty britches for TJ.
Indeed.
As it should be. Let's read a little into this. Let's see what's happening here. I happen to marry into a family with an insane amount of money, more than they know what to do with, quite honestly. I spent approximately $15,000 per child for my 3 children for Christmas, which I'm immensely grateful to be able to spend on them. I also donated the same amount to a charity for each child's choice as well. So basically, like, you fucking hit the lottery. You married into a billionaire family or whatever, or
a mega wealthy
hundreds of millions. Yeah. My mom's side has a rule that we only get each other Christmas gifts if we will be seeing each other that year on Christmas Day. Oh,
that is.
I guess whatever. For cousins with children, we get the kids gift gifts rather than the parents. That makes sense to me too.
Yeah.
I can see that. My mother hosted this year, and about 10 of my cousins and their children were coming. I bought each of my cousins' children something unique, not really thinking about the price, but more what I think they would like.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, money is no object to this family. So, like, they're literally just at a point of like, oh, what would they like? Oh, $4,000 bike or whatever. Yeah, sure. They would like that.
Yeah. My cousin, 35 male, has a 14-year-old daughter. She is the result of a one-night stand. So, oh my God. See, I'm starting to think you might be the asshole because you got to bring this up. Like, who cares? Why does this have anything to do with this? She's a result of a one-night stand.
She's a
so
bastard.
most of us in the family have only met her mother a handful of times and only for a few minutes. Like, yeah, why does the bastard status of his daughter have to come up? My daughter is also 14, and 2 parts of her Christmas Day gifts were a Cartier love ring and a YSL purse. I'm assuming those are both very expensive things.
I believe they are. Yeah.
I bought the same for my cousin's daughter, and they are very close, and I thought she'd really like it. My cousin's daughter excitedly FaceTimed her mother to show her the gifts that I bought her. Upon ending the FaceTime, called my cousin very upset. She said that I spent more on her daughter for Christmas than she had and was livid with me. I genuinely didn't think about the cost of the gifts. Just more. Yeah, you're not the asshole.
No.
So you're just kind of like by incident, you married into a rich family. Like here's the question. Would the daughter be better off without having that little purse and the little Cartier ring or whatever? No. So like I'm trying to put I'm not a parent, but I try and put myself in that headspace. Dude, I would look at this as a blessing. I'd be like, fuck, dude, I can spend basically nothing every year on my because that she's gonna hook it up. They're rich as fuck. She's gonna spend thousands of dollars on my kids, so I'll just get them like a little stocking stuffer or something, and then we'll just make Aunt so-and-so's gift the centerpiece of Christmas every year. Yeah, bougie problems. Yeah, I agree. This is just like this woman being all fucking bent out of shape because they're spending money on her daughter is I don't know. That seems like she's the asshole, not this person.
That's actually what that is jealousy. Like, because she is not going to gift herself. Because you think if she also would have got $4,000 or $5,000 worth of gifts herself, she would give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like the fact that they even said it like, oh, we buy presents for the kids. That's really what it is. It's like, oh shit, I didn't get a fucking new MacBook Pro or something. I didn't get a $4,000 ring. So.
She probably wanted that purse or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
That's what that is. It's like, you spent more on my kid. It's like they have to find some angle that it seems justified to be mad at that person. Because I mean, like, if someone wants to give your kid especially a family member, a $4,000 thing, like, I would never be like, no, that's bad. Why would you? I'm like, cool, that's awesome for you. I'm glad you're getting that.
Yeah. Bruised ego and jealousy. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, definitely not the asshole. Like I said, with someone giving a gift, it's especially like a substantial gift for most people. Come on. I mean, like, there's no harm intended in this. I mean, maybe
I don't think it would have hurt to like call ahead and be like, look, is it okay if I'm going to spend a little extra money, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think you necessarily should have to. It's really not about that. And it shouldn't be for the parent. The parent should be happy that their kid was able to get some nice stuff.
Yeah.
Period. All right, Scotty, close your eyes. I want you to imagine that we are 2 gentlemen sitting in the French royal court in the 1500s, Scotty. And I walk over to you. I stroll confidently over to you.
Okay.
And I take off my lace glove and I smack you in the face with it. And I say, I challenge thee to a duel.
How dare you? I accept your challenge.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah, dude. Stattogories. We're gonna do one.
I mean,
we'll choose. We're gonna go head to head on a Stattogories. What do you want to do this time? You want to do movies and TV? You want to do YouTube? They got video games.
Let's go OG, dude. Movies
and TV. It is. Who's going first?
People have accused me of going, I guess, even though it doesn't make any difference, going second is like, oh, well, you have to beat. So I will go first, unless you have an objection.
No, that's fine. Yeah, we'll let you go first this time. So here we go. Movies and TV.
So let's see. We can do ratings for movies. We can do box office. I don't know, Paul. Do you like you want to do ratings for movies or you want to do box office? Which one made more money? Ooh, which one made more? Or of course, what did people rate higher?
Let's do ratings. I think that's more interesting to me.
All right, let's do ratings then. That's fine with me.
Ratings, just general movies. All right, cool. Here we go.
And this is the original Stattogories. Pretty much what they start off doing.
So this is IMDb rating, which has the highest. Sunset Boulevard, 1950, or X-Men Dark Phoenix. They don't even have a picture for it.
Sunset Boulevard.
You're probably correct about that. I know Dark Phoenix was a shit fucking movie.
A dog turd.
Okay, Sunset Boulevard at an 8.4, or Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
The days of good ratings had set sail on this franchise at that point, so Sunset Boulevard.
Sunset Boulevard it is. Yep, correct.
All right, now we're going to switch it up.
Ooh, Friday the 13th.
This is the original, so it's probably higher rated. Friday the 13th.
I would imagine so, yeah. 6.6. Yeah, I think this got to be higher than a 6.6 on IMDb.
I think nostalgia.
Ooh!
Oh, no, damn. All right, Paul. Well, you got an easy score to beat.
Damn. Oh, look at Leo is disappointed.
Oh, wait. Oh, look at this shit. Sky tends to cheat at these, Paul. If I cheated, why would I have 2?
Yeah, he just bombed out a 2. That's what I did last time we went head to head. I bombed out like a 2 or a 3. It happens, man. Sometimes you don't know. You know what Scotty underestimated there? And I did the same thing. There are people that love horror, and the people that don't hate it. And will fucking downvote anything that has to do with being a slasher movie or whatever the fuck. So yeah, I guess that's what happened. All right, we're doing it again. Stattogories, ratings, movies. Which has a higher rating on IMDb? This is my go. Let's see. Heat or The Matrix? Ooh,
damn. This is
I'm
tough.
I'm gonna guess The Matrix, but this is a tough one because these are both really well received movies.
They are both pretty good movies too.
They are really good movies. I mean, like the movie where we finally get Al Pacino and De Niro actually playing in the same scenes together. Like we'd had The Godfather too, but they were, De Niro played Pacino's father in flashback. So they're, I think this was the first time they were actually in a movie together playing against one another. The Matrix. I'm going to go The Matrix. Woo! You know why I picked The Matrix? Because I will tell you this, dude. I never watched a movie that left me more hype at the end after going to a movie theater than The Matrix. The Matrix was the apex for me.
No, I mean, dude, you're not wrong. Like in comparison, I mean, yeah, Heat's a good movie, but The Matrix that's a better movie.
Yep. I'm gonna stick with The Matrix on this one. I've actually seen Monsters University. I saw it in the theaters too. And it was, I remember laughing at it. I thought it was okay, but it was nowhere. Like, I know these Disney fucking Pixar fans can be crazy, though. But I'm going to ride The Matrix on this one. Yeah.
Let's see.
Ooh.
The Terminator.
I mean, it's got to be The Terminator, right? But am I overestimating the whole, because Terminator is basically a horror movie. I'm going to go Terminator. Oh, it's closer than I thought it was going to be. Hotel Rwanda or The Terminator. Dude, I remember when this movie came out, it was a big deal this year. It's not a well-remembered movie, but it was one of those Oscar bait movies this year. I remember.
Oh, yeah, it completely was.
I've seen it. It's pretty good, but it's like a real depressing, dour movie. And The Terminator isn't. And so I'm gonna guess that The Terminator is higher than Hotel Rwanda, but I may end up fucking myself here.
I think it's gonna be close either way. To be honest with you,
I agree.
Yeah, both. Ty goes to you. Yeah, both definitely good movies, but yeah, one. This one I think is easy. I think it's one flavor. I mean, like,
I mean, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is one of those movies that's mentioned in the same breath as The Godfather. It's mentioned in the same breath as Gone with the Wind. When you're talking about like greatest films of all time, it's not a Kubrick movie, but it's mentioned in
in the category.
I mean, like it's definitely stands up. And Hotel Rwanda, once again, was a movie that was really big, and it was a big vehicle for Don Cheadle and a big Oscar bait movie. But it, like, when's the last time anybody has said anything to you about Hotel Rwanda, Scotty?
I've never really discussed it. If I've ever discussed it with somebody else, to be honest with you, they've been like, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. So yeah, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Oh, still closer than I thought it was going to be, but all right, I'm doing good, man. I'm running it up. Joker or One Flew. Ooh.
Both super well received. Maybe in time, Joker is will be seen as just as important as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but
it could be. Yeah, it's definitely like a contender, but I just don't think that it's. I think that it was more divisive than One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest seems to be amongst movie buffs. So I'm gonna ride Cuckoo's Nest till the wheels fall off.
That's not too crazy.
Oh, very close.
It is close. I mean, either way, it was close.
Fuck. I mean, Metropolis is
amazing
like
movie.
it's a Fritz Lang. It's considered to be one of the first movies. Like,
dude, it's a really interesting film too. It's one of those silent films. Just great scenery. I mean, especially for the time period. I mean, it was made in the 20s.
It comes up like it's definitely like a film nerd movie where it's like you'll see comparisons to it if you've seen it. It's if you're the type of person that likes looking at the lineage of movies, you've seen this movie, and it always comes up in film nerd talks about greatest movie of all time, or earliest example of a brilliant film or whatever the fuck. Joker not quite hasn't marinated as long.
No,
I'm gonna say Metropolis probably has a higher rating than Joker, but I may.
It's difficult either way, man. Because like these are probably they're probably very similarly rated. To be honest with you,
Yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go with Joker on this. I'm gonna say that Joker. More people have probably come by to rate Joker than have seen Metropolis these days. We'll see. Oh,
yeah,
good thought.
Good call. Yeah.
West Side Story or Metropolis. I didn't hear a fucking thing about West Side Story.
I would go if it was me. I'd go Metropolis.
Yeah,
to be honest with you. I wouldn't go for West Side Story.
I thought this was the old West Side Story, and then I was like, 2021, they did a remake of West Side Story. No,
Yeah,
Metropolis has got to be better.
Yeah, a full point. Not even close.
Damn, I'm running it up. Cool Hand Luke. It's got to be Cool Hand
Paul
Luke.
Newman, come on. It's got to be Paul Newman over fucking these two dweebs.
Before Sunset or Cool Hand Luke.
Before Sunset's a well-regarded movie, but I don't think it's going to be Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah, no. I don't think so either. And they've got like the most horrible pixelated picture for it just makes me not want to click on it. Oh shit. Well, tie goes to me. Damn, that's 2 ties I got. Those are always because it doesn't matter.
Hacksaw Ridge got some buzz, but I think honestly a painfully boring movie, to be honest with you, from what I recall seeing it.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's like a true conscious objector where a guy basically I think he's sent to Korea. He fights in the Korean War, but he won't carry a gun. So the military is like, of course, like you got to carry a gun. And eventually they allow him to go over there. It's like, if you're stupid enough to go to war and not carry a weapon, be our guest. And the guy
so he's just like a medic or whatever.
Yeah, he saves people's lives. So I mean, definitely interesting life story for the guy. I mean, the guy's got balls to steal, but the movie, at least I think it's also directed by Mel Gibson. Just not a great movie. So
I'm going with Before Sunset. Oh, that's where I fuck off. That's
it was
not
close,
bad though.
Yeah, that was a good score. That was close. I mean, either way, you had 0.1 difference.
Anytime I play these, if I get to double digits, I feel like I did pretty good. We could run it back, Scotty, if you want. You want to do one more of these together? Let's do a lightning round where we both kind of work together to do it.
Someone say that's not Hacksaw. Bullshit, it's not Hacksaw Ridge. I'm fucking 99% sure that's the fucking, unless I'm thinking of a different movie. And if people are saying that's bullshit, let's see. It's a biographical war film directed by Mel Gibson and Andrew Knight, blah, blah, blah. The Conscientious Objector is directed by Terry Bennett. The film focused on the World War II experience of Desmond Doss, an American pacifist combat medic who as a Seventh-day Adventist Christian, refused to carry a weapon or use a firearm of any kind. So I don't get how that was incorrect. All right, whatever. Spider-Man.
You can see the high score here is 11. That Scotty set that, so Scotty still has the highest. Has run up the highest score on this. Yeah, Spider-Man has got to be more than Spider-Man 3, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
That was true though. It was World War II, not Korea. All right.
Yeah. Oh,
Spider-Man. The emoji movie
Spider-Man.
is a fucking turd, dude. One of the worst rated movies. Monty Python.
Yeah. Easy peasy. Damn, that's higher than I thought it'd be for Holy Grail. Justice League, Monty Python. Right?
Yeah. This is not even a fucking.
So far, it's been real easy. They've been putting some flops up.
This is a fucking.
Billboards. This is a well-regarded movie. I haven't seen it though, so.
Yeah, I've heard of this movie. I'm gonna go with 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because it had Oscar buzz, and Justice League definitely didn't. Fargo. Oh shit, Fargo's got to be better than this one. Right?
Fargo.
I think isn't this a Coen brothers movie? Am I wrong about that? I think I am wrong about that, but it's got it's because it's got the same lady in it.
It does have what is her name?
Frances McDormand.
Yes, she's in both of those movies. That's what it is.
Yeah, but this was this is a huge movie. Won best movie in '96, if I'm not mistaken. Won the best movie Oscar. So yeah, Fargo. Oh shit.
Woo.
Wow, tied, huh? Once Upon a Time in America or Fargo. I gotta be honest with you, I love the gangster movies that came out in the 80s and 90s, like the Italian mob movies, and this is probably my least favorite, or one of my least favorites among them.
It's a really boring film. I mean, I agree with you too. I'm definitely a fan.
It's one of those movies that people talk about a lot, and I feel like I'm missing something with it. It's a Sergio Leone movie, and so it's his Sergio Leone was known for making spaghetti westerns, basically. Right. And so he got big because he put Clint Eastwood in a bunch of his works and shit, and he was able to direct this big budget American kind of saga that he wanted to do. And I just don't like the movie. Like, I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna go with Fargo unless you've got a better argument.
Now we do have to rate them based on what we think. This movie has so many. Once Upon a Time in America has so many basically kiss asses defending it though.
It is true. Yeah, I mean it's definitely like
God.
But every time I watch it, I feel like I'm missing something. You know.
I know. I feel like Fargo's at 8.1. Nah, I think Fargo. I mean, like
I know Once Upon a Time didn't win an Oscar, so I got that. I know Fargo won in '96. It was best movie. So I mean that could wait for Fargo as well. I think.
Let's just go with Fargo because we both like Fargo better. So
we got fucked. Damn, we got fucked, man. Shit.
Oh fuck. I just don't see dude. You're the only person I've ever met to say that. Like I said, we haven't met, but I mean, like the only person I've ever seen. Like I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't see it either. I've watched it like probably 10 years ago, and I went through the whole thing. It's a really long movie. I just found it to be it kind of drags. I mean, there's definitely good parts of it.
It's just like I will watch any other prominent mob movie from the 80s and 90s before I watch that one. I will watch fucking the Godfather movies. I'll watch Goodfellas. I'll watch Casino. I'll watch what's that one with Robert De Niro where his son is like he has a son that's like ends up like becoming a mobster, kind of like working for the mob boss, and then he's got he dates a black girl. I can't remember the name of the movie. Somebody in the chat will remember it. Just that movie, dude. I'll watch that. I'll watch any gangster movie, Casino, before I watch. Like all of those, in my opinion, are way better than Once Upon a Time in America.
People said Untouchables, Donnie Brasco. Those are all good ones. I mean, like
Bronx Tale. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I've watched, and I like honestly, I'm a fan of most of those movies that were just mentioned. But Once Upon a Time, like I don't say I'm not gonna say I hate the movie. I don't hate it. It's just like I don't think I would be effusive with praise for it.
Bronx Tale and the kid does not become a gangster. I didn't. Okay, listen. The plot of that movie is that this dude is a bus driver and his son becomes enamored with the local gangster and ends up like hanging around with him and shit and becomes influenced by him and his friends. You know what I mean? Like that. It's the tug of influence between a gangster and a straight father that wants to save his son from that. And so, yeah, the son never like full blown becomes a hitman or something, but there wouldn't be a movie if he wasn't like on the borders of becoming one of these gangster types. That's the whole point of the movie.
Let's go here. You know what, Paul? We got a fucking lot of captive people here. So yet again, we got to push our shit.
That's true.
Enjoy, guys. We'll be right back.
The new year approaches and brings with it tidings of neo-Malthusian implication. Grinning liberal bobbleheads be warned. While some poor sods are reveling in festivity, I and other serious critics of the neo-feminist liberal agenda will be hard at work, unpacking the dialectic, attempting to make heads or tails of the new implications wrought by this new priesthood of public belief. 3 slobs known as Pessimist Productions will be facing me down in a gauntlet of Herculean proportion. I will not go easy on them. They are anti-man, anti-God, and furthermore, anti-masculine. They seek to confuse the youth by blurring the lines of gender and upsetting the apple cart of race and class. I will not allow them to do so. Join the Pessimist Productions Patreon now, or else you will be left shivering and naked in the total darkness of ignorance. Only patrons will get to see the pain, the beauty, and the glory of these cultural terrorists meeting their match. Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who. Starting on December 31st at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and continuing until all of the United States has rung in the new year. If you miss the Jordan Peterson Gauntlet, you'll likely never forgive yourself. Be brave in the face of the feminist. Reject the modern assumption that men are evil and wrong. Join the Pessimist Productions Patreon now, or else submit yourself to the decay of modernity.
Well,
I was not smoking weed then, Paul. Not at all.
of course not. Of course, you would never do such a thing, Scotty.
But yeah, guys.
We put that ad up, and somebody said like the one problem with that ad is that I make too much sense, and I think that is true. That's the hardest thing about Jordan Peterson to capture is the nonsensical nature of how he speaks.
But then you'd actually have to be Jordan Peterson. So there is that.
Oh yes.
Oh yes, it's coming.
Man, who are you, dude? Listen to Piggy Paul's tender, butter slicked vocals. Who is this guy, dude? Are you in a shack out in the swamp somewhere?
Square boy. Yeah, some deliverance shit, dude. Don't you feel like Paul never go to the woods in Georgia?
I ain't going to the woods ever again, man. Fuck that.
What you know what, Paul? I bet you get you back to the woods, dude. If I said there's some ayahuasca in the woods, you'll probably go.
Well, not if the weather's like this fucking.
Okay, well, yeah, no, fair enough. So death toll rises to at least 57, and probably a lot more because
Damn.
I mean, there's like fucking like what 6 feet of snow in parts of the country as freezing temperatures and heavy snow wallop swaths. Dude, I love words that get broken out very rarely, and swath is one of them.
Checkmate, global warming conspiracy theorists.
A planet's getting hotter. How you explain this?
Hey, you keep saying it's getting hotter, but look, here's an offhand example of when it got colder. It's like people don't understand the difference between like odd events and a trend. Like there's a trackable trend of the global average mean temperature going up and up and up and up. That doesn't mean that there aren't going to be blizzards, you dumb fuck.
NASA recently put something out about that too, so I can find. Might even just be on their Twitter. Oh, here it is actually. It's from NASA. Let's see. As temperatures in the U.S. plummeted this week as a polar vortex descended. Remember that was a big buzzword for a few years, Paul.
Polar vortex, yeah.
Across the country, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Hey, that's what NASA stands for. Wow, learn something new. Made sure to remind Americans that the Arctic outburst does not mean that climate change isn't happening. And a tweet posted. So you guys tweeted it. Look at the fucking. I know Lord Elon would probably want that too. So can I just go to NASA's little fucking thing? NASA, where's your fucking?
Where's your Twitter?
Where's
your Twitter at, NASA?
Understanding our planet to benefit humankind. Bullshit. Okay, here it is. Just because it's cold for a day, a week, or a season, it doesn't mean global warming is over. All the months that have been warming since record keeping began in 1880, including December. The main cause, dun dun dun, human activities. So guys, here's 1880. Let's see, where's it trending? Oh, look, got a little higher there. And a drop down.
I may not be an expert, but it looks like overall the trend is a pretty radical swing up.
Let's see. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. So yeah, people kind of I think tend to view this, especially people who are climate skeptics, as like, well, we wouldn't have these events if if the planet was really warming. It shouldn't just be paradise for everyone, right? Or it shouldn't be super hot every day.
Yeah.
Now this is where I think it really gets fucking screwy. A once in a lifetime blizzard, because I've been so many once in a lifetime events.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they definitely need to put this one in quotations. So that's bullshit. It's killed at least 57 people in the U.S., including 27 in Western New York's Erie County. They got hit really bad, dude. And the number of deaths from the monster storm were expected to grow as snow continued to blanket Erie County, leaving roads in many areas impassable, including the majority of Buffalo Country executive. Oh, county. I don't know why I said that. County executive. Oh, what the fuck's this guy's name? Mark Polanacrez said at a news conference. We can see a sort of light at the end of the tunnel, but this is not the end yet. We are not there.
Damn.
Did it?
Yeah, I mean, I have no experience dealing with blizzard. Like I've driven through a couple of real heavy blizzard type snowstorms and shit, and visited places that had some big winter storms, but I have no idea how to live in that kind of thing. It must have been horrible for a lot of
you
people.
had that story where you had to go over that mountain pass where it was like, oh fuck, and you almost had to fucking you're almost one of these people that got stranded in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well, and then the other story that I always tell people too, it was how I almost froze to death trying to get to a fucking Walmart when I first visited you guys in Ohio.
Oh my God.
I landed in a snowstorm in Ohio. Yeah. And and people were all talking about oh yeah, we ain't had snow like this in a long time, and I was down the street at this little hotel, and I remember when I took the Uber in, there was a Walmart right there, 2 blocks away.
Yeah, I remember you were staying. Yeah, you were super close to a Walmart.
Yeah, it's like a Quality Inn or wherever the fuck I was. And so I checked in and I was like, I'm going to go over there and get myself some dinner stuff because I had a little microwave in the room. I was like, I'm going to go get myself some.
Yeah, Paul thought he was going to walk in the winter in Ohio easily to.
Well, dude, I had my hoodie on. Come on.
It's not even
my
cold.
California ass is I'll just zip up my hoodie. So I zipped up my hoodie.
And as you know, it's not even the cold that gets you. It's walking there. That's going to get it.
And I set off, I could see the fucking Walmart. And I'm telling you, dude, it was like the fucking Trail of Tears getting to that motherfucker. It was crazy. I almost froze to death. I got the Walmart. I went and bought stuff, including a jacket. Because I was like, fuck. I'm packed for California winter. And this is not that. So I went, I got myself a jacket. And then I called the shortest Uber that I've ever had in my life. I called the Uber outside of a Walmart and had him drive me 2 blocks to the Quality Inn because I didn't want to die of exposure.
You made the right decision. I mean, you probably would have made it back fine, but dude, Ohio that time of year, you're looking at a high of about 20 degrees. Snow's on the ground most of the fucking winter there.
Yep.
Like, dude, when I moved up there, it was such a like a culture shock for me. Where like it's like, okay, it's like November, and then it's like, oh, there's like a foot of fucking snow outside, and having to buy a fucking show snovel, you know what I mean, and like ice and like taking care of, because TJ never did any of that shit, dude. Like living, because I lived with TJ at the time. Oh my god, I had to shovel out the car every fucking goddamn time. I eventually just bought a snowblower. I got so fucking sick of having to deal with the shit. Because growing up down here,
do that.
dude, because down here it's like, I mean, like you guys probably get a little bit of snow out there, I'd imagine, Paul, but not very much and not very often. It's the same way here. It's a rare thing.
It snowed one time in the area of California that I'm in, that I'm aware of, and maybe twice that I've heard of. So, you know, yeah, it's very, but like we're not that far from the foothills and the mountains, and actually, you know, we've covered it, but this continues to happen. California's looking like they're going to have like an out of nowhere record snowfall kind of year, where you know, if things continue the way it looks like they're going to, California could be at 100% of its necessary snowpack in January, you know, which is ridiculous. So that, you know, but once again, it's an anomaly. It's not like the trend for California is down. We need that type of winter every winter for the next 10 or 15 years. And then California would be back in business, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee of that, unfortunately. I mean, I hope it happens, but you know.
Did you get cold down where you're at? Because I was looking at some maps,
yeah.
and I was like, holy fuck, that dipped all the way down into the south. I was like, Jesus.
Even where like my family live, like my mom and Steve and Stevie, like they were even down to like the 20s. Here we were down to like, in like where I live in, we're like 7. TJ was at like, I think -11 with wind chill, maybe down -20, -30, somewhere around where he lives at.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
And then I was, dude, and like you guys, honestly, on the West Coast had it like better than anybody. It was like out there, it was like more mild. The rest of the country was just fucked, dude. It was fucking freezing. I know if it's freezing,
we were complaining about it too. We like the whole area was, because it was a little bit colder than usual. That's what happened to us. Is we got temperatures that, you know, spiked down a little lower than usual, and everybody was complaining about it here. And then, you know, the rest of the
California. Oh, it's 50, and oh no, it's 50 in December.
Yeah, it actually got down to like 30 or 29 a couple of nights, and people were just like, you know, that's that you wake up and it's frosty the next day, you know.
Let's see. Yeah, I live in Louisiana. TJ does not. But
dude, have you ever experienced those heavy negative temperatures, like but below zero temperatures before?
Oh yeah, dude. When the polar vortex when that first was a big deal. Like I gotta remember, I lived in Ohio, dude. It was negative fucking 30 degrees outside.
Oh my god, bro.
Negative fucking 30. Like, dude, you just like going out to do anything in that time period was just like a nightmare. Like you basically had to start your car. You heat it up, get in your car, drive to where you needed to go. Like, so it's a grocery store. Like, you might just leave your car running, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's at some times you probably have to.
But
people
if it was,
probably own a lot of diesels, because you can like let a diesel idle all fucking night. It doesn't matter,
dude. Like, I'm telling you, just living in that fucking degree of cold, which is like not even the worst in the country. I mean, because like I would say probably for our country, it's gonna be like the Northeast probably has the worst winters on average. Maybe like. Was like the plains, like Montana and North Dakota and shit.
Yeah.
Minnesota,
definitely the closer to Canada, the, you know, and the farther north, probably the harsher the winter. But yeah, dude, I really haven't experienced those really heavy negative temperatures except one time, and I'll never fucking forget it, bro. My California ass was in a place called Cedar City, Utah, way up in the fucking mountains in the winter for a Shakespeare festival. And it was negative 25 or something outside. And I remember, like at night, you know, like the low was negative 25. I remember I walked outside to smoke a cigarette. And I did the California thing too. I had like my hoodie zipped up and maybe a little beanie on. I walked out there, and dude, the only way I can describe it is like your brain immediately goes, turn around and go back inside.
Yeah,
you're going to die out there. It felt like it was going to kill me imminently. And so I was just like, fuck this. I went, I took one puff of my cigarette, threw it, and fucking went back inside and got under the blanket and shit. It was immediate. It just hits you immediately in the face. Like, holy fuck, this is death out here. Like, I got to get to the next area where I'm not out in the fucking weather.
And like it's just because like I grew up in Louisiana and you did in California. So it's like you're so rarely exposed to anything even approaching that. They just don't know how to handle like people that live in those areas and grow up in those areas. Like I always ask them, it's like, how do you deal with it? Like, I don't know. Like I always lived in shit like this, so it's never been a big deal. Like, yeah, we get bad storms, but like you just have to deal with the snow. You have to deal with the ice. You have to just learn to be accustomed to it. Like, you hate it and you dislike it, but it's part of living here.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like down south, like people deal with hurricanes. Like a lot of people that like live in these northern states, like how do you deal with it? It's like, well, if you grew up and you always have to deal with hurricanes, like, even if they're getting worse, even if it's a fucking huge inconvenience, you just deal with it. So it's like you can't.
I don't know if it's fucking different for other people, but I will tell you, man, that's the number one fucking reason I bounced off that area of the world. I was actually like, outside of the extreme weather shit, I was actually becoming pretty acclimated to Louisiana because it's not over the top different from, I mean, it definitely is. There's things that are unique to that area, but people are people pretty much everywhere. You know what I mean? I was starting to acclimate to the area, but like just those fucking back to back giant hurricanes that we went through. I was just like, fuck this, man. I'm not going to sit here and wait for my fucking apartment building to blow over. Like, I got to get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? It just felt unsafe. And it really is. You know what I mean? There were multiple times I'd be over there. I'd go out on my little porch or whatever. And I was basically on an island in a big river now. You know what I mean? The whole shit had flooded out. There's 6 inches to 12 inches of water on the fucking ground. That was just routine. I was just like, I mean, I'm not going to wait for this to die in one of these. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there are people that just grow up down there, and that becomes probably a lot less scary when you're raised in it. But coming from somewhere where you don't experience those types of like, end of the world weather events, it's fucking hard to get used to that.
So see, hurricanes will destroy your house. No, well, I mean, I don't think, dude, snow can destroy your house in a number of ways too. Your roof can collapse. Now, I don't think it's as common as the destruction.
Fuck yeah.
But dude, your pipes can burst. I mean, like, so there's not without its problems. I mean, I agree. I don't think it's as deadly. I mean, but obviously you see here, like most hurricanes don't kill like 100 people. I mean,
Northeast New York state is buried right now. It's got like, there's like 6 to 8 feet of snow on the ground. It literally brings everything to a screeching halt. Think about that. Like, that's what kills people. It's not necessarily like probably people freezing to death. It's more people that need medical attention. How you get an ambulance to a fucking neighborhood that's got 6 feet of snow?
Dude, first responders had to be rescued from this. They had to have like the only people that could rescue people at that point were people who are like special tactical teams, where it's like you're trained. If no one else can get out there, you can get out there, kind of shit. That's how bad it was. Like the people that are supposed to respond, like the first line response, couldn't do it. And it even says here, people like you have to shovel your way out. You're not in good shape. You have a heart attack, you fucking drop dead. Like you said, you can't get any medical treatment because they can't get to you.
Yeah, you're fucked.
People freezing to death in cars. At least one person in Niagara County died from carbon monoxide poisoning, so probably running something inside their house to stay warm. That's great. At least 18 people died in Buffalo. So, I mean, yeah, like, look, guys, I get it. Hurricanes are probably worse, but it ain't no joke. There's anywhere you live in the country, some's going to try to get your ass at some point. it's going to come for you.
I mean, I got to be honest. I think the area that I live in has one of the scariest ones. Like a giant fucking world-shattering earthquake is got to be like one of the most universally devastating things, and that's really like, that's what we're up against out in California. But you're absolutely right. You eventually learn that there's no place that isn't disaster prone. Maybe like even if you go to like the center of the country, because a lot of the disasters come in from the ocean, it's tornadoes, right? Yeah. So it's just like that's Tornado Alley is the center of the country. So it's fuck,
I'll tell you what though, Paul, surprisingly for your part of the country, like you guys rank pretty high in resiliency for climate change, which is weird if you really think about it in some ways, because of the water shit. But like, yeah, and obviously you guys have, I mean, look, earthquakes are definitely going to happen in that part of the world. It's just that there's no way. You have 2 plates that are meeting. You have 2 tectonic plates. You can even see it.
Well, see, those aren't caused by like a lot of the other ones, like this polar vortex right now. Climate change is the reason why this swung to such an extreme.
Yeah.
The uptick in the amount of major hurricanes in the Gulf, that's directly related to the fucking ocean being warmer. Like that's so. But like earthquakes are going to happen when they happen. It's not necessarily anything that we're doing, unless fracking. I don't know. Maybe we
Fracking
frack a
can.
little.
But I'll tell you what. I actually went through a fracking one in Ohio where there's a lot of fracking.
Yeah.
And my house like shook for like 20, 30 seconds, and that was it. Like it really wasn't like the
It's
same
spooky,
degree.
man. I will tell you, there's nothing quite. I've never gotten used to it, and I've probably been through more earthquakes than your average Joe, just being a lifelong California native.
Oh yeah.
Like, you never get used to it, man. The whole fucking shit is moving underneath you, not just the house shaking. Like it's like the whole ground is literally. You can see it moving. You can feel it moving. It's a very creepy thing. I've never been in a real super big one.
You know what? Unfortunately, living there, it's like, and the crazy thing is like you might not. I mean, you could live your whole life there, Paul, and you might never have the big.
Well,
one.
I don't live in an earthquake zone.
That's true.
So
Well,
even if I've actually lived through a big one, like the San Francisco earthquake in the 80s. There was a earthquake. I can't remember if it was in the late 80s or early 90s, but there was an earthquake in San Francisco that killed a bunch of people, destroyed a couple of bridges, knocked down a couple buildings. I mean, it was like a 7 something on the Richter scale, right? It's centered right around San Francisco. I experienced that earthquake. So like the area that I'm in, if there's a big earthquake on the coast or north or south of me or whatever, you can feel it. It's the whole fucking ground is moving. So the tremors extend well beyond where the epicenter is, but I don't live on a fault. So,
well, there is that. Honestly, Paul, I think the main thing that's going to get you, if anything, in the Central Valley is that super flood, dude. The fucking super flood's going to come one day and flood the Central Valley.
I mean, they've started covering that more and more and more and more as time has gone on. Like you start to hear more and more about this idea that if we had just like a really unusually wet season, that the drought actually makes it more possible, because the ground, like one of the problems with drought is the ground gets so dry that water can't hydrate it fast enough. And so that's where you get mudslides and these huge runoffs and shit. And that's really what they're worried about, is like some of these areas in the mountains around the valley are so dry that if you pelt them with enough water, rain, snow and shit, just like, there's going to be no natural river course for the water coming down out of the mountains. And it could flood parts of the valley out for sure.
Yeah. I got to show you this article about that, but I got to move on to some other stuff. So, guys, good news. Drug overdose deaths topped 106,000 in 2021. CDC says in its final report. So we did good.
106,000. That man, those are great numbers. We're number one.
The United States hit a grim record of 106,699 drug overdose deaths in 2021. A 16% increase over 2020. Good job. And of course, hey, whose fault is it's fentanyl? The powerful synthetic opioid is up to 50 times stronger than heroin. Blah blah blah. No, actually, let's take all this. I'm not saying that this didn't kill people. It definitely did, but it's not like more people are overdosing on drugs and taking drugs and dealing with their problems by drug abuse in a vacuum. It wasn't like, you know what I really want to do with my life is, let's see, okay, I want to get addicted to opioids, and then I want to fucking die because I just keep taking them, and eventually I'm gonna take a bad dose, or I'm gonna take too much, and then I'm gonna fucking die. Like that doesn't happen in a fucking vacuum. So it's like this thing where it's like, oh, it's fentanyl. People taking fentanyl. It's like, yeah, fentanyl is probably a factor in this for sure.
Yeah,
but it didn't happen in a fucking vacuum. It's American culture that's killing all these people.
Well, yeah, it's the pharmaceutical industry that's killing these people.
I'm not saying every overdose death is preventable. Like there's not. There's people who are going to just be stupid and take a bunch of drugs and die. I mean, that happens.
But the fact that these are not like a lot of this stuff is stuff that's taken directly from the medical industry. It's like fentanyl was invented as a radical treatment for people with chronic pain. Like that's how it got into the like it wasn't created by some fucking cartel down in Colombia or some shit. And so it's just like the massive under regulation of this industry that includes doctors that prescribe this shit. It's like a hand in glove relationship. Look, the pill manufacturers make more money the more a doctor prescribes this. And because of the kickback system, doctors make more money the more they prescribe this. And so it's just getting out there and jumping. Like still, even numbers like this, there's no sign of it slowing because that fucking the federal government refuses to regulate these companies.
Well, remember when Purdue Pharma, which has been sued into oblivion, and of course got a sweetheart deal in the court system in this country with their settlement, told doctors in the studies on it, which they lied about. It's like, kind of like how the tobacco industry lied about, hey, cigarettes cause lung cancer. They said that less than 1% of people, or at most 1% of people that took opioids would become addicted to them. When their actual internal numbers showed it was significantly more people. And of course, as experience shows, I mean, I've talked to people from all walks of life that have taken these, pills because they had a surgery, they had something they needed. And pretty much everyone told me the same thing. I had to stop taking them because otherwise I feel like I would become addicted to them. It's literally something that makes you, even if you have pain, you don't care. And you at the time, or when you take it, when you first start taking it, you feel great. You feel amazing. So it's like, if pretty much anyone can become addicted to this shit, it's probably not a good idea to just hand it out for every fucking reason or every little ailment.
No.
I mean, like, and,
it can be regulated. But these companies own the government. Like, they're huge donators to political campaigns.
Yeah, the FDA is not going to go and it's kind of crazy to me because the drugs that really should be highly regulated and restricted are totally legal for us to go get right now. And then ones like in many states, like 24 states, the prohibition on weed, you can't smoke that, you can't take that in any form. And it's like, that's fucking crazy. It's like the fact that like you have these drugs alongside like fucking weed, and weed doesn't kill hardly anybody. I mean, if someone dies on weed, it's probably not from the weed itself. It's probably something stupid they fucking did while high. It's more likely that. Whereas like this is killing, I mean, the vast majority of these deaths are probably opioid related. I mean, like it says drug overdoses. So I'm sure there's other causes as well. But I mean, for this to happen and be up 16%, like, and I doubt 2022 is any better. I don't think we're going to be hearing 2022 final report and like, everything's great, guys. Never mind.
Well, there's no reason to believe that because it's just, as these numbers spike higher and more people are calling it a fucking crisis or whatever, there's just nothing coming out of the federal government that even looks like intent to regulate these companies.
The war on drugs was criminalized consumer behavior. Criminalized, not the fucking drug dealer. The drug dealers are allowed to peddle as much as they want. As long as they're paying as long as the government's in their pocket and they're getting their kickback, you can be a drug dealer in the United States and make billions of dollars in profit. No problem at all. Not a fucking one. But if you don't pay them, then you're just a despicable drug dealer. And then, of course, the people who fall hopelessly into these addiction crises in their life where they can't manage to have like a stable life, they're blamed. They're thrown in prison. They're locked up. And the people that keep peddling the shit, it's like, you watch a movie, right? And it's like, in a movie when they try to take down a drug ring, do they go to like every crackhead and just arrest them and say, well, this is going to somehow stop people from using drugs? Like, no one thinks that. They always go, we got to find the guy who's really bringing all the all the weight in.
Kingpin, yeah.
In this case, we know who is doing it. We know they've lied, continue to lie, and we just don't do anything about it.
Yeah. It's like that movie Training Day where they scoop up like a street level dealer and force him to tell like where the fucking guy that has the drugs and money and shit is at. And then they go bust him. Now, in that movie, not for the correct reasons, but that's kind of what we assume all drug cops are out there doing. But no, most of it is actually criminalizing use, as Scotty said. Like people just chilling in their fucking living room smoking crack are the ones that are getting popped for it.
Yeah, it's treating the symptoms and not actually trying to treat the disease or the root causes of the disease. So ultimately, it's just going to be more people overdosing, more people end up in the fucking prison system. It's not going to work out. And look here, this is amazing. U.S. healthcare spending reached $12,914 per person in 2021.
Nice. Nice and affordable to be a human being.
You like this too. In 2021, private insurance accounted for 28% of the 4.3 trillion in spending, even though they were just a tiny 0.3% increase in health insurance enrollment from 2020. The total number of Americans with medical coverage last year reached an impressive 200 million. Wow, we could have just done everybody with universal health care, but okay. That averaged just slightly more than 12,000 per American, according to the data. Now, think about that. That includes a bunch of people that didn't really use any medical services.
Oh, of course.
Like, didn't use shit. So that just shows you how fucking rife our system is for just totally milking patients. Here's this. Out-of-pocket spending was up substantially in 2021, accounting for 10% of the overall total. So, wow, that's definitely a sustainable increase. 10% of just what comes out of your pocket. So you're paying for the insurance and you're paying 10% more on average. But the agency cautions that this figure is deceptive because it followed a pandemic year during which vast numbers of Americans decreased their interaction with healthcare services. Oh, that must be it.
What the fuck?
We know what's crazy too is I gotta find where it says in here, but it talks about how like so much of our spending is still footed by the government. Let's see. I think it says it somewhere. Okay, the U.S. Healthcare spending grew 2.7% in 2021, slower than the measure of 10.3% in 2020. That wasn't it. They had a statistic here. I'm trying to remember where the fuck it was. That just showed that despite the fact we'll have private insurance, that we still end up like the government still ends up. Here it is. As one might expect, hospitals are responsible for the lion's share of healthcare. In 2021, they accounted for 31% of overall spending. Retail prescription drugs, meanwhile, the remainder of how high the costs are sometimes checked off 9% of 2021 overall U.S. healthcare expenditures. So yeah, so 10% of that 4.3 trillion, so $430 billion. Last year, 378 billion worth of prescriptions were filled, and of course, let's see. Here you go. Another way to summarize the 2021 healthcare expenditures this year is that the federal government, when all categories were accounted for, footed the bill for 34% of the 4.3 trillion. Which that to me is the crazy part. It's like we're already doing this, so the federal government's already subsidizing this, but we're still paying for insurance.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It just makes no sense as to why we don't have a national healthcare plan. Well, I mean, it does. Like the reason that we don't is because
this is why. Because look at the cost here.
Well, not only that. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Because the government would have to fucking rein in and regulate the insurance industry and the pharmaceutical industry, both of which are huge donators to their campaign. So this type of they lobby both bodies of the national level government and state level governments incessantly. They've got all the money in the world and all the access in the world, and this is the number one fucking problem that has to be solved. Severing this dirty, filthy, disgusting fucking money from politics. If we could solve that overnight, we'd start to see decisions like national health care. Like,
I'll tell you what, one thing I think we could do to actually reform the healthcare system that's actually feasible in America, because Americans are pretty fucking stupid, unfortunately. I'm not, by the way, I'm not exempting myself from that. But is that we could super heavily regulate private insurance. And what I mean is like what you do, what the government should do is come up with a list of prices for procedures. Yes. Which is really where this shit happens. Negotiate all drug prices. Consumers have to get the best possible deal using the buying power of as many people as possible, and also regulate. And so it's like, okay, you want to bill for an MRI? We do a fucking study on what does it actually cost to fucking give someone an MRI. The actual cost, the real cost, not the fucking made up phony, it's $10 million cost, is $117. Okay, you're allowed to charge $127. Which, I mean, not a system I think is even at least like what I would actually want. But as a transition system, like, yeah, take it out of the hands of greedy fucks so they don't have a choice. If you give
that's just as fucking starry-eyed an expectation as, the fucking extreme of us getting a national healthcare plan, because it requires the people that are utterly owned and operated by the pharmaceutical companies to stage a revolt against them and actually use their power to protect American people.
Oh, I have no doubt that those people are not interested in that at all. I mean, why would they be? I mean, because for them, if your interests are intertwined, then it's almost like working against yourself, which is what they count on. That's really what, like you said. I mean, like when you get someone in bed with you, it's like you count on the fact it's like, well, look, because you're in bed with me, that also means you have to defend me.
Right.
And it's not just the money, it's the fact that you're associated with everything they do.
Yep.
Like, I mean, so it's like you can't. I'm like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna become an advocate for this shit? Like, you could, and people have definitely done it, but there's not profit in it. There's no money in it. All the money is on being on their side. So there's really no motivation for these people to actually go and stand up to that. Like, why would they? I mean, the average, you're talking about the average citizen in this country. Yeah, I mean, there's some debate about universal health care for sure. There's definitely people that are wildly against it. I don't know why, but I mean, I guess, at least then maybe it comes from this place of thinking it's somehow going to make it worse, even though I think that's misguided. But I think for the most part, people want these things. But it's like you're right. But there's just a total disconnect of like where the government actually meets those demands. Like clearly the government hears those demands. They know what people, I mean, politicians do, but it's always just spun into something like, well, if we did that, then somehow you're going to end up with a death panel and you're going to be killed and your healthcare costs, it's going to be crazy. And it's like, how are your healthcare costs going to go up if you have universal healthcare?
I mean, it's part of the grift now. You got one side of American politics promising to deliver it, but never actually delivering it. And then you got the other side of American politics promising to fight against it. And, like they're both basically working together. Neither one of them have any intention of actually solving it. They're just using it as a political football. When it's a life or death issue for you as a citizen of this country. So it's just ridiculous. I fractured my spine in a motorcycle accident. MRI cost like $1,500. I got better, can still walk and everything. I know.
And that only happened because they're greedy fucks. There's no way the cost of that procedure was $1,500. And
Yep.
It's fucking insane to think that. And it's just that because these insurance companies know. Because really what insurance is insurance is a protection racket. So when you go to these hospitals and healthcare providers, that you have someone that's negotiating you a better price. That's all they do. And of course, most of the fucking cost is still passed on to you.
Yep.
Whereas in a universal healthcare system, yeah, you might pay more in taxes, but the government, as your insurer, does not have a direct incentive. They actually want you to be healthy because it actually saves them money the healthier you are. In our country, the sicker you are, the more it's kind of perverse to say it, but really, like, sick consumers are the best ones. Not too sick, though, mind you.
Right.
Not too sick. Like, if you're too sick.
Just a little sick. Just unhealthy.
Yeah, I want you on prescription. Like, if you think with these companies, they want you on prescription drugs because then you got to pay them every month. They want, so that they have to come up with all these conditions that you have. Oh, you can have this condition, you have that condition, and of course, the only way to treat it is by taking these drugs. And sometimes there's great efficacy to those drugs, and they actually are beneficial to people, but sometimes they're not. Yeah, I'll say it costs about $12 an hour to run. Yeah, because our healthcare system has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with reality. It's like if you go to a hospital, it's crazy. Like, unless you're talking about like one of these few select, like, private, small providers that's like, I don't take insurance, here are my rates. For the most part, you don't know when you use the healthcare system in America how much it's going to cost you. You really don't. And if you ask them how much is this going to cost me, they'll usually tell you they have no idea. I don't know. I don't know because, well, why? Oh, well, because we have to bill this to your insurer. They have to talk to us, and then we basically negotiate the price based on your insurance plan. And then they'll eventually send you a bill. But you're going to have this copay, so you're going to pay us money now. And then there's your deductible. And it's like, this is lunacy. The system does not make any fucking sense, and it only works for giant fucking companies. That's the only people it works for. It doesn't work for the fucking citizens of the country. And you see what happens. They continue just to milk us more and more and more. And this is per person. So this is fucking taking into account millions of people that have nothing wrong with them, that aren't even really using the healthcare system, just happen to have insurance because they need it.
Yep. Absolutely true.
And of course, my favorite battle, when the corporations go to war. McDonald's says pork industry colluded to supersize prices for fast food giant. No.
One big giant industry is fucking another one, Scotty.
They do it to us all the time. I mean, like, I don't really get this. Because these companies are probably butthurt too. That's probably the only time they actually do get butthurt. Like, another giant corporation fucked me. It's like, well, of course they did. Like, wouldn't you have fucked them if you could?
Of course.
You don't think McDonald's, if they could have fucked the pork industry over and made them their sandwiches more profitable, like, wow, if we get this deal, we'll make 3 cents more a sandwich. They wouldn't do it in a heartbeat. Of course they would. It'd be good business. One of the nation's largest chain restaurants has accused the pork industry of collusion and driving up the price of swine. I mean, most of these meat producers and distributors now are owned by a handful of like 2 or 3 companies. So I almost have no doubt that's true. Recently, McDonald's filed a lawsuit in New York federal court against Agrostats Inc. and a host of well-known pork producers such as Tyson, Hormel, and Smithfield Foods. Let's see. Yeah, McDonald's has nearly 40,000. Yeah, we know McDonald's is. But the pork industry operates with a small number of large producers controlling the supply, the restaurant claims. Wow, so reality, which is what we know to be true. The companies named in the suit control about 80% of the pork market, according to McDonald's. Yeah, of course they're colluding. Why would they not collude? Like honestly, it doesn't even make sense for them to. Like that'd be like the most naive thing these giant companies could do. Like, let's let the market control the price of pork. Like, no, let's let us control the price of pork because then we make as much as we want.
Yeah.
I mean, the demand for meat is so high in America. I mean, like, McDonald's contends the pork industry can power to fix, raise, and stabilize the price of pork. Yeah, here's another point here. Just because they price fixed it, doesn't mean they want the price to like, oh, it's unaffordable. Like they have a certain level of profit they want, and that's where they want it to be. They agreed to restrict output and limit products with the idea of stabilizing pork prices. I mean, so far, like, where's the even? Yeah, I want to hear their comment. Does AgriSystems comment on the lawsuit? I guess
they're
not.
smart, probably not.
McDonald's shared data created a price fixing game according to lawsuit obtained by Canoes, our favorite news source. Furthermore, each defendant engaged in acts of furtherance of the conspiracy by participating in such supply cuts and by limiting increases in supply that otherwise would have occurred, the suit states. Well, of course. Why would they? More supply means lower price. I mean, this is like the dairy farmers that dump their milk out.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. My mom saw that happening at the start of the pandemic when everybody was talking about how there was no milk because there was no supply. Like she drove by a farm where they were dumping huge vats of milk out and into the fucking fields and shit. Just like, what the fuck? It's just like that's the inefficiency of our system. People are hungry, but we throw away something like 30% of all food after the purchase. Like that's people that go shopping and like restaurants. Restaurants, I think there's like 30% total waste of all ingredients that go into a restaurant.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like, and when you like even these giant chain ones, like they don't usually even donate the food. And I know they like look, there's actual valid arguments against why they can't. I mean, like there's actually food safety things and transporting food over long distances and stuff. But like you can at least give it to people right there. But of course, we live in America where there's like so much litigation. So it's like, why don't we just pass a law saying if you give food to people, you can't be prosecuted? You know what I mean? Like, let's just like give people legal protection. Then it's like, let's do something, you know? Because I mean, like, honestly, that's probably the most perverse part of the story is there's people starving and you literally have people going like, well, the price of pork goes to, it's like, yeah, well, no shock here. And of course, I'm sure McDonald's will probably, you know, I'm sure they'll end up settling this out of court because the pork industry doesn't want to have a big fucking legal fight with McDonald's. So we'll never actually know what comes.
The invisible hand, Scotty. The invisible hand of the market is at work here.
The invisible hand of litigation.
Yep.
And speaking of which, some more stuff from the future. McDonald's unveiled an automated store, and some consumers aren't loving it. Well, I don't think they're that worried about it.
Oh shit.
McDonald's new test restaurant near Fort Worth, Texas, could be the future of fast food operators. Instead of a human workers handing you a bag at the drive-thru, an automatic conveyor belt brings you your order to the window. Ordering is done through a kiosk or an app. No humans involved here either. To me, this is like a dream.
Yeah, I mean, here's why I worry about this. And I worry about this for a lot of industries. Right now, fast food is basically like propping up the job economy for a lot of people. People are getting multiples of these. Like these are supposed to be like back when I was a kid, these were jobs that like teenagers and kids that were in college had. Now they're like they're an integral part of keeping people employed in the towns that they're in. So what's the plan to replace that job market or come up with a government program that takes care of poor? Like when is that going to happen? Because you're like this is the way that all of this is going on a long enough time scale. This is fast food. I think most experiences like having an Apple store, right?
That's what we want.
Like, let's say that you have like, why would you not be able to have like a store that's just not manned at all? You know, and like they're definitely gonna do it. I think it definitely makes like those types of jobs, having worked them before, they're kind of soul crushing. So it's no loss in terms of that. But the thing that worries me is I don't hear any plan to replace these jobs in the marketplace or to move towards you know, a national safety net that pays the poorest among us a stipend every month to make sure that they don't fucking go under.
I mean, that perspective, I definitely understand. I just meant the fact that I wouldn't want people having to fucking do these kind of jobs.
No,
I mean,
I totally agree. Like I said, they're soul crushing jobs, so no loss losing them.
but yeah, I get what
And
you're saying from the perspective of like economics. Like, if these employers leave the communities that don't have anything else because the jobs have been automated away, it's like, what's to replace them? Now, the argument of that has always been like with technological breakthroughs that the new technology requires, like it actually ends up creating more jobs, essentially, is what it does. Like, okay, we've
Yeah.
eliminated some jobs, but now we've created more fucking jobs. It's like, but I think we're hitting the point now in probably the next 10 or 15 years where I think you're right. I mean, automation is here to fucking stay. And look at so this guy visited this drive-through. I guess he did a takeout order. There's a kiosk you can order from. But see, to this business, it's like, well, people like you said, it's kind of like the robo dog with the dog with a gun, the dog that's going to kill people. It's like, will people accept this place? Will people go here?
I mean, a lot of these types of things exist in the East. Like China and Japan have for a long time actually had these kind of like contactless, workerless kind of kiosk operations. And they're more than happy to. I think that, dude, I can't think of a single person that goes, my favorite thing about McDonald's is interacting with the staff there. It's like, no. So it's like your average person has no vested interest in there being a staff there. As long as, like, here's the only way that this will fuck up. If it's somehow less accurate than a human being, people will turn on it. Like, if their fucking Big Mac is coming out all sloppy or it makes a lot of errors, then yeah, people will turn on it. But as long as it's more efficient than human workers that pulling off like decent food.
Well, think about you're ordering the food, so I mean, as far as like the input you're giving it, only you could probably fuck that up unless there's some error in the back.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, machinery breaks down. Sometimes things are miscalibrated, and that's human error. You know what I mean? A human fucking, whoever the maintenance guy is, fucking miscalibrated it, and it's squirting mustard all over the top of every hamburger. I could see that type of shit happening. And if it happens too much, people are going to go like, this never would have happened if there were people in there, and they'll fucking turn against the idea of this. As long as they're smart rolling it out and people just get like average slop going through there, it's over for these jobs for sure.
It says here the test of automated locations come as the company struggle to hire amid a shrinking labor pool that's pushing wages higher and giving workers more bargaining power. At the same time, automation is gaining a foothold in more industries, with experts predicting that 10 million jobs may be at risk over the next few years. Low-wage positions in fast food and service industries, most of all. Oh yeah, dude, this is happening for a lot of these industries. Anyone that's like frontline, like cashier positions and stuff like that. I think that for the most part, it's gonna just augment it first. But I think most experiences in these fast casual, the fast food restaurants are just gonna completely change. Like the idea of a cashier is gonna go the way of a dinosaur. It's like it's not gonna fucking be around anymore. Like the only way it's gonna be around is maybe there'll be some person that works in the back or something where it's like, oh, okay, someone can come help you, but you're gonna have to wait. You have to actually wait for human assistance. Like, as now, I mean, most people like. When I was a kid, that was unheard of. Like, you walked into a McDonald's, you had to talk to somebody, you waited, they put your food on the counter, that was it.
Yep.
But now it's like most of these locations have been upgraded to have kiosks. Most of these locations have been upgraded to do takeout orders, where it's like it's becoming less and less personal. And if you can do it on the scale of like people don't even have to pass out the food, I mean, they're just working back. They're just shrinking the jobs necessary to run these locations. I mean, and I think in the near future, it'll probably be like one, and then eventually they'll be able to just fully automate these stores. I think the only thing stopping them from doing that might just be the fact that like, oh shit, if there is a problem with, like you said, the machinery or the technology, we might not. I mean, because here's the thing. They might not even want to run the store if that shit's broken. They might just say this location is closed for maintenance or something. They
Well,
might not
that's
even
the
want.
thing is like a lot of these things, like if somebody doesn't show up for work or somebody slips and falls, these places keep running. But if that
Right.
happens to the machinery, you have to close the whole fucking location, and that's money.
That's a lot.
So
of money.
they're
But
gonna
they're not
they're gonna
paying
have
labor though. That's it. That's the thing. Because obviously with these industries, what this really says more than anything is like they're worried about the labor market. Like it's not even just so much like because they're even saying that they can't find. They say, "Oh, we can't find the people." Like I don't think it's a lack of people. I think it's the fact that these jobs in this economy just doesn't make sense for most people.
it's a lack of retention is the problem. There's huge turnover in these jobs because people don't give a fuck about them because you don't pay them anything.
Yeah, why would they?
And so that's the problem is they run through their local labor market so fast because people won't put up with being treated the way that you get treated working one of these fucking jobs. And so that's, if anything, that's probably what's worrying them. But yeah, I don't know if they can make this thing like, I know I ain't going to weep for it. If they can make this thing more accurate than a team of human beings, I'm all for it.
And here we have Aussie bloke in undies fights off 5 armed teenage thieves.
Okay, cool.
This Mermaid Waters neighbourhood was probably just as startled by the 4:30 a.m. fracas as these 5 young home invaders were by a nearly naked Steve
Oh,
Wilson.
shit.
Woken up this morning by a stranger rummaging through.
At least that guy had some good taste in his underwear, dude. He just wasn't wearing some like tighty whities. He had like his look going.
I think that that's the most Australian thing, like immediately identifiably Australian. The fact that guy's wearing like burgundy tidy whities at 4 a.m. That's it, dude.
Through his car.
I was naked. I woke up, found a pair of underpants, threw them on, ran outside, scared one of them, managed to tackle him.
Dude, he ran out like the fucking naked Avenger.
And those friends being armed with a
managed to tackle him on.
Yeah, let's watch that.
Ran outside.
I mean, that dude's ready to fucking fight, dude.
Oh yeah, he's not having it.
Like he was butt naked. He fucking runs out. He's like, you know what? Let's fucking do battle here.
This is that primal instinct kicking in. You know what I mean? Like he just went to ape mode right here. For sure.
Scared one of them, managed to tackle him.
But he wasn't counting on that boy having friends and those friends being armed with a.
He's literally fighting the lamest gang of all time.
I mean, yeah, this is like, I look, you can't take it away from this guy. He gets the big balls award in his little fucking world. I'm fine with that. But yeah, this gang, if we're being honest, this is some fucking scrawny ass nerds that don't know what they're doing. He's literally like disabled one of them by grabbing them by the shirt. Like he's
just holding a bat or something. Like, and dude, like, I'm not even scared. I'm not even a little bit scared. Not even
he doesn't look like he's ever swung a bat or used a bat. I mean, it's just like these are, and the other two are just standing back, like, should we run or should? This is a pussy gang for sure. This is a gang of pussies.
A knife and a bat.
I didn't realize there were.
Oh, he's got a fucking knife.
Other kids.
I don't see any knife.
Cars up the street, so it was.
A bat.
Yeah, I didn't think anything of it.
Other than a minor cut to his hand, Steve is okay.
Once the baseball bat came out, I tried to use the young fella that I was holding on to as my little shield.
The 5 fleeing in a Mazda and BMW.
Oh my fucking god, bro! They wrecked his dude. He wrecked their shit. Dude, what a stud! What a fucking stud!
The fucking street cred is gone.
Dude, can you imagine being this gang of fucking losers? You're the guys that one dude in red underwear beat the fuck out of in the middle of the street the last time. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know you. Yeah. These guys are not going to be treated well in prison. That is fucking great. This dude is the Chad. But see, this is only possible because like if this happened in America, this dude would have been shot dead in the street.
Yeah.
Like Australia has actual gun enforcement laws and stuff that keep gangs like this from running around with a bunch of fucking weapons. If one of these fucking nerds had a gun,
or he would have had a gun and killed them.
True, yeah, that's actually true. You actually make a good point there. In America, it's likely that a couple of these stupid fucking kids ends up dead in the street, which you can say that's a good or bad thing, I guess, but
Yeah, I mean, some people obviously, they feel if you commit crimes, like, hey, someone wants to blow you away, you shouldn't have been on their property.
Yeah.
But at the same time, of course, if you value human life, even people who are thieves, probably shouldn't just be killed in the street. I got some other shit, but you know what? The show has been going a while, and we got to get to our other show, The Grease Trap. Here's some thanks for our Grease Trap, Paul. Tom Hanks rushes to protect wife Rita Wilson. I think that's cool. You see a different side of Tom Hanks.
Oh, damn. We're going to see Mad Tom Hanks.
Mad Tom Hanks, yeah. A state trooper loses his mind, and also, I don't know if I thought I had it here. Where's it at? Where's it at? It's hiding. Dude, hey, look at this, Paul. The ultimate fried chicken tier list. I know. Look, guys. I know most tier lists are not the most entertaining thing, and we are mindful of that. But this is one that I think me and Paul are both going to be pretty invested in. Just saying.
I mean, yeah.
Just saying, guys.
We're some chicken. We're some chicken lovers over here.
Gonna be an extra greasy grease trap coming for you guys next. If you're a patron, of course. If you're not a patron, that's your problem.
Yep. Join the Patreon. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Join it.